Hey, how y'all
Hey.
doing? Welcome back to another episode of My Unsolicited Opinion podcast. We are so glad to have you back with us once again. You guys, we have an episode today. It's not going to be anything, hopefully, it's not going to be too controversial because some people be all up in their feelings and trying to make arguments where there are none, but it's okay. Listen, y'all, today we're going to have a special episode about how many kids are too many kids? So I was looking at the shade room because I love the shade room. It's kind of like a dream job of mine, but that's another story for another day. And I saw this clip where they showed Ari the Don and Moneybag Yo, and they were talking. And he tells her, she asked, like, did he want to have two more kids? And he was like, yeah, I want two more kids. And she was like, well, do your baby mamas like me? He has 8 children already. She has one child. I think it's just one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to talk about in these type of scenarios, like how many kids are too many kids? Like, what is your cutoff? What does that look like? But first, let's check in. How y'all ladies doing since the last time we met up?
A couple days ago.
A couple of days ago.
Yesterday.
3 days ago. 3 days ago.
No, I mean good. Today was a really, really good day. Got up, got out, got something. And so I'm having a productive day. Wanted to come back and unwind with my girls and have a little chat. But today was good. Today was good.
Well, as y'all can see, I got all dude up this weekend. I got a chance to get some rest. Got me a little facial exfoliation, So I'm back. I'm refreshed. So let's do it, y'all.
You look good, girl.
Yes, girl.
You look good. I'm not even playing. I turned on the thing. I turned on the monitor. I said, "Ooh, who is this lady right here, baby?"
She came and flexed on us
today.
It's Saturday night. Even though I'm spending it with my girls, it's still a Saturday night.
That red lipstick, though, baby. She said,
"Okay,
they gonna get me tonight." Oh God, you ready for the smoke, honey?
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord, what we got going on in the chat?
Let's see who we have in here tonight. We have so far Sia, also known as Saya, whatever you like. He says, salute my unsolicited opinion and the chat family. Welcome, y'all. We're going to have a good one for y'all tonight. Hopefully, y'all can get active in this comments section and let us know what y'all think in the chat. I'm sorry. My sexy is strong. She says, hello, ladies. Hello, my sexy is strong. Y'all, welcome to the My Unsolicited Opinion podcast. Mama Bear, welcome back, Mama Bear. You know you are like
Mama Bear,
unofficial third co-host. She said last time, NAllen, can you tag out? Like, give me a chance to speak. Welcome back, girlfriend. She says, good evening, ladies. You three look beautiful. Thank you so much, Mama Bear.
Thank you.
Celeste. She says, good evening, ladies. Good evening, Celeste. She says it again. And good evening to the chat. We gotta acknowledge our chat. I would say we got the baddest chat so far. That's what we think, at least. It's our opinion. Yeah. Randy K. Good to see you again, hey, Randy K. I just saw you over there on what's the name? I can't even think of her name. The other chat. Yes, a security boss. Her and TLA were over there chatting it up about relationships. Kind of similar almost to what we're going to be talking about tonight with this. Y'all just hold on. We'll get to it, guys. He said, hello, ladies and gents. Let's go. It's going to be a good night, y'all. Y'all let us know. Let us know you're in here in the chat and the Common Sense Experts. He sneaks right in at the 9th hour. He says, good evening, ladies. Good evening, Common Sense Expert. And thank y'all for coming out and supporting us tonight.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that. Looks like we got 17 people so far, and we are building. You guys,
and like it up, y'all. Like it up.
I'm telling you, make sure you hit that like button on your way in here. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We got somebody say they ninja watching, ninja listening. I like it.
I hear it.
We love it. Thank you so much for coming and spend some time with us.
That's condemn ya.
Oh Lord.
It's our homeboy. It's our homeboy.
Man, we gotta get that in here.
All right now.
Y'all don't want that.
Jalen.
Hey, Jalen.
Hey, Jalen.
Let's go to look. We got to get that man a wrench, okay?
I
Okay.
know.
Yes.
Then y'all say something crazy about his mama. He gonna be like, "Oh, we shutting the whole thing down."
Let us make it, Jalen. Let him make it in the
Y'all,
chat
it's
tonight.
something about having little boys. I know y'all got girls, but
Yeah.
it's something about having a son. Like they don't play
Tell
about
us
their
about
mama.
it. Tell us about
Yeah.
tell us about having a son, because I don't know.
They don't play
Yeah.
about their mom. It is honestly like it really is something special about it. Like my son, you would swear he 3 years old the way he followed me around the house sometimes. I'm like, go away. What you doing? I just want a hug, mommy. Okay, you know what? This is I love
Oh,
him, and he
Yeah.
loves me, like really, really loves me. I mean, I don't want him to grow up to be like a mama's boy or nothing, because that'd be a turn off to a woman. But you know,
You know what? I can
I
appreciate
don't
that,
need to be
Joy.
first. When you start having girlfriends and
Good.
wives, honey,
Healthy
we
boundaries. That's
gotta,
always good.
go
Yes.
and cleave.
yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
You a good mama, Joy. You're a
You
good
are.
mama.
yeah.
You
I
Some
are.
don't
of these
want
women,
that.
they selfish.
Get a baby all the hugs. I will. I will. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, well, you guys. So, oh my goodness, it's so much that we could talk about as far as these relationships with, when you're dating and you get to a certain age and you kind of expect certain things, right? I think it's fair to say, when you're in your mid-20s, people are having kids. Like if you 18 or 19, it might happen every now and again. But when you're in your mid-20s, people have had children. Like you have a child under your belt in most cases, either the male or the female. When you get into your 30s, people have now started to get divorced and they're having kids and stepkids. And I actually have some friends that were grandparents in our 30s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Girl, I saw it.
So, yeah. Now,
Yeah.
I tell you now, if you a pop, I might not be the girl for you. That's another story for another day.
You're a 30-year-old pop.
You 34 years old and you a pop. What is going on?
Let's break
But
the generational curses. Let's break them.
it
Break every
happened.
chain.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I was shocked. Like in matter of fact, the person that I'm thinking about, he's younger than I am. And we used to work, me and the guy, we used to work together as teenagers. And his son was one of my students when I was teaching.
Oh,
And
wow.
so his son had a baby his first year of college, maybe second year of college. And I was like, you a whole pop? Like, wait, oh my God.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
And he's in, like I said, he's in his 30s. So anyway, now he's a pop to 2 grandkids. So let's talk about it, you guys. Like, how many kids are too many kids from a man? Let's begin with the male, okay? And then we'll kind of talk about the woman and kind of go from there. So, ladies, how many are too many for a man to have if you're dating?
Go
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'll go first. I'm gonna be honest. Growing up, me and my sisters, we're product of second marriage. My mom's second marriage and my dad's. So my mom was always preaching to us about not getting with men that have kids. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't deal with people. I had one guy that I dated for a while. He had a child, and she was the cutest, little sweetest little girl. But the whole experience was just like my mom was right. Like, don't even mess with them. So now, at this stage in my life, the divorce and having one child of my own and all that kind of stuff, it's like, okay, I don't know. I can't be like as strict as I was before because like clearly I'm bringing my own little homegirl with me. So now I would think like, well, you kind of have to think about if it's the number of children by certain women, like how many women they got children by, how many baby mamas. That would be more of an issue for me because if you were married before, you had 3 kids with your ex-wife, whatever, they all together. But if you got 3 kids at 3 different houses and then you were here with me and then I have my child, that might be too many for me. That's too many. So I'm gonna say two baby mamas. I'm gonna say it like that,
Okay.
2 baby mamas. I'm gonna do chili on y'all.
Oh, wait, hold on. They can't have more than 2 baby mamas at the most, or like
If they got three children at 3 different houses,
yeah.
and then I'm the 4th house,
But
that's a bit much for me.
they
They
can
can
have
have
2.
They can have
At two
like if they
different
had a
houses.
girlfriend they had messed up with, and then if they got married at some point, messed up over there, and it could be 15 kids between the two women, but just at least just two women max for me.
Two,
For
okay.
now, because I used to be zero, so now I'm a little bit more flexible. And I'm gonna give them two mamas, unlimited kids by two women.
Okay. Woo. Chat. All right. Now. Okay. All right. What do you think, Ty?
I think it might be better to count the baby mamas, right? Honestly, at this point, right? I think you are spot on when you said that. It's just like, how much drama do you, and it may not always be drama, so I won't say that, but how much drama do you want to deal with, right? And for me, I don't know at this point in my life if the number of kids is as important as other than how they're spread out, if they are spread out. Now, I remember coming up in my early 20s or whatever and saying no, like, if you have kids, like, no, right? Because I didn't have any, so it was just like, it was that whole piece, right? But then as I got older, and it really wasn't until like maybe my mid 20s when I found out like most of the guys that I was dating had kids, one, two, or whatever may have you. It was just like, okay, this is like kind of like superficial to me. But I can understand why people are a little like apprehensive, because it's like time and how much they're spending with them. I've come across people who had kids and lied and said that they didn't have kids, and then you find out later that they do have kids, which is like a complete and total turn off to me, because I don't think you should ever deny the kids that you have. But for me, it's I think I'm probably with you. Maybe I say at the most two baby mothers, but that is pushing it for me. I mean, you have to have that intact. Like, even if it was one, you would still have to have that relationship with your child's mother, in like, it had to be locked down. It had to be something. It can't be drama there, because I don't want to deal with it, right? I don't have any baby daddy drama. Like it is solid, no issues. And so if you come in with that kind of baggage, I don't have time for that. So I'm pushing it with two, but I mean, it has to be. Whew.
Come on, Joy.
Joy don't
So somebody said that was a great question for the first date at McDonald's.
They back. Look. Oh.
He has arrived. Shout out to the lead attorney.
Shout out
Thank
to
you.
TLA.
Hey,
Good stream tonight. Good collab he did tonight with
So I'll do you one better. I would have already known the answer from my research on the Facebook,
True.
on the Instagram.
True.
Because women be doing them background checks. Okay. We're gonna find out. So I think that there is I think a couple of things contribute. One, how old is everybody involved?
True.
Right. I only have one child, so I welcome somebody that has like 2 or 3 kids, because I remember when I was growing up, I'm crazy. I literally thought I wanted like a Cosby show. Like I wanted 4 or 5 kids. Like, and I was even crazy enough to think I was gonna have 4 kids by the age of 30. Like, thank you, God, for setting me free. That did not happen. Like, woo, child wouldn't know what to do. But so I actually would welcome that. I don't know that I have a number per se. I would have to look at how that person is managing whatever that situation is. Because some people, they have 1 kid and they can't manage that.
Exactly.
So, and then on the opposite end of that, you might have somebody like a Chad Johnson. He has more resources. He welcomes fatherhood. He openly talks about, and because he has the resources, he openly talks about, hey, my daughter got a track meet here, my son got a football game there. I just hop on a plane, boom, boom. I met both things in the same day. You just gotta see how people manage things. Because like I said, I've known men that, like I said, had one kid and they like, oh, I'm too busy to whatever. So
They be lying.
that would be where I would start to see like what type of person is this man. I've known a man that had one child and he decided to leave the kid in New York because he wanted to move to Charlotte for a new opportunity, a new chance. And not because it was a new job, but because the baby mama was stressing him out. Like, what? So I don't really have a set number. I do start to question things when I see that women start to date men that have, 3-4 baby mamas and they like, ooh, shoot me up next. Like, what? I don't understand. Like, what we doing? And that sounds like that's the situation with Moneybag and Ari. So, she literally is like, you want 2 more kids? Yeah. What? You got 8. You want 10 kids? But you already got, I don't even know how many women it is. So that's what I would start to really pay attention to, not necessarily just a number.
You brought up one good thing. You brought up resources, right? And being able to, I guess, we'll break it up, being able to financially support the children that you bring into the world. And so, I mean, I would think Moneybag Yo has the resources for 10 kids based off of his fame, but who knows, right? And then you have someone like Nick Cannon, right? He has 11, I think, going on 12, and he seems to have the resources financially to take care of these kids. And then you got Future and whomever else we can name. Ocho Cinco, NBA YoungBoy got 10. I don't even think he's 30 yet. He got 10 kids already. I don't know if any of those people outside of, who did I name? I named Nick Cannon, NBA YoungBoy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would sign up, regardless of the resources that they have. I don't know if I would sign up to be on that roster. Like,
what if he was cute?
I mean, I think
I'm just trying to figure out why they're doing it. I mean, maybe he cute then.
Oh, I just don't know. I can't sign up to be number 13. I don't know how many. Whatever. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I could sign up to be anything past 3. Right. And then you gotta be solid. I know 3 is it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Lot. But you know what I'm saying? But you still have to be solid. I don't know how solid all those men are. I know Nick Cannon, he speaks openly about his relationships with the mother of his kids. And he said it's pretty much cordial, but I don't know if Mariah would. I mean, I think Mariah just like whatever, right?
I think she don't be paying nobody.
I don't even think she paid them
Nah, them not my kids, brothers and sisters. Them Nick kids. My children, that's it. This your sister, that's your brother. They don't belong. They not the same.
Ooh, but how you feel about that though? I mean, they are siblings, because I have older siblings from my father's first marriage, and I love them. I mean, we don't do halves around here.
That's different. That's different, because it's like, if you're the first family, the kids that's coming after that, like, they were the original family. Because I don't care, because I'm the second marriage, because my mama was the last wife, so I don't know how the first wife would see that, so I think that kind of matters too. Y'all let us know in the chat how many what we gonna say, how many kids is too many
for a man, because we were talking about these women next,
right?
So for a man, how many are too many for a man?
If a man is out here dating women, and how many kids would you say? Like, if they said they have 4 kids, is that too many? If they have 3 kids, if you like, no, I'm not dating men with kids at all. Let us know. Put your numbers in the chat, guys. Let us know what y'all think.
Or if they say they got 3 baby mamas, right?
Yeah, they got 3 baby mamas. They got 1 child with each woman. They Nick Cannon. Star Child. Let's go back up a little bit. Star Child 18, welcome to the chat. She says 1. Celeste, she also says 1. Star Child 18 says she don't want no baby mama drama. And it's like, sometimes these guys, they will tell you, oh, I don't have problems like that with my baby mama. And they don't have no control of that situation whatsoever. This baby mama is calling the shots, okay? You can be the new wife because guess what? They're gonna be like, hey, you be quiet because you know better. And that's the unfortunate part about being the second wife or the woman, the current girlfriend. The old ones do what they want, the other ones do what they want. They like,
Okay.
you be quiet because you know better, and I'm with you. Okay, you be cool. Celeste's one is too many for her. My sexy is strong says two max. You got two churn children, too many kids. The lead attorney, he has arrived, guys. He says, salute, ladies. Randy K, she says three is
Please
too
do
many.
me.
Okay.
Three is too many. Mama Bear says, I think the amount of partners will be the issue more than the number of kids, but two kids max. That's kind of along the same lines of what we were saying. Because I remember when, who was it, TLC, they had the show, or whenever it was out, or Chili, she was dating, and she started dating Floyd Mayweather.
Mm-hmm.
She said then, like, if you had three baby mamas, like that was her max. She didn't even like put a cap on the kids. She was like, three baby mamas, like, I'm not talking to you, not dealing with you. You've got three baby mamas. So that's something to consider, guys.
She only got
My
that one, and her child grown.
he is. And at
Mm-hmm.
this point, it's like, if you don't have grown kids, that kind of matters too.
Then
If
it
you got
does.
Now, if you got a 2-year-old, y'all know how I feel about that. You and the baby mama need to give it another shot.
Y'all need to give it another go.
Y'all need to give it another shot. Let the baby see mom and daddy together for a while. Try to be a family. Try to be a family. If you got a 2-year-old, don't talk to me. Okay, because I'm gonna be like, y'all still fresh. Those wounds are still fresh.
Right.
Nah,
So she's
yeah,
still there.
they still there. So don't come with a little child. Now, if you got grown kids, we 40, almost 40, all that, yeah, that's cool. I'm okay. The grandparent part, it's like, do you have control over that? I mean, but whatever.
But that's a good question, though. What you just said. So what are we?
It's
What
so
what
many
what's the
restrictions.
youngest age? I guess to your point though, like I agree. I would say the same thing. Like I think if the kid is like maybe not in kindergarten, like what's going on here? Like are you all like really trying, or was it what was the background? Like how did this kid get here? I would want to
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Because
And I
sometimes
got
you have moments that oops. But, you
Jack
know.
Daniels. They say Jack Daniels have a lot of babies. Y'all know him?
Talking about the liquor.
Yeah. Jack Daniels fathered a lot of these kids.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Joy,
Y'all never heard that?
Joy, that went
If he
over your head.
It did. It took me. I'm like, who is Jack Daniels? Is
Yeah,
that a
they say he
rapper?
fathered a lot of these
Is
kids.
that
So
a rapper?
so it's like, some of them it's like, okay, if you got a 2-year-old and Jack Daniels help you get them, then it's like, oh, you okay, you done. You good to move on. Proceed. Star Child, she says, no more drama. The lead attorney is referring back to our previous episode. He says, this is a great question to ask at the first date inside McDonald's. If you're on a
Yes.
first date at McDonald's, I probably would ask you, like, okay, how many kids you got?
Because it's some
How many
assumptions to
how
be
many
made.
women, how many mothers are involved in this? Because we on a low budget date anyway. We could keep it 100. We could be real with each other.
You about to dap
Let's
him
just
up
go
when
and
you
talk.
see
Like,
him.
oh, what happened with you and him? I'll be like, oh, we didn't work out. It was a little bit of me and him, but mostly him.
But I
Okay.
think that is a very good question on any first date, whether you're at McDonald's, whether you're by
Yeah.
the lake, whether you're at Chez Pierre. I think that is a very good question to ask on the very first date is, do you have kids? I've
So
just seen an experience where men be like, nah, I ain't got none.
do y'all, okay, let me ask a separate question. Do y'all think what do y'all think about when men are not honest about the number of kids that they have? Because sometimes it's like y'all from the same place or y'all know some of the same people and you know about these 2 kids, but it's actually 3.
They might
And he
not
only
know.
sometimes they do. What about when they don't tell you until later on?
So there are men who who honestly don't know, right? And there's circumstances for that. But I have personally encountered men, more than one, who have, I call it a denial of the kids, honestly. Because if I specifically ask you, do you have kids, and you give me a solid no, and then come to find out that you do have kids and you acknowledge these kids outside of whatever interaction that we had, and you're trying to pursue something with me, yeah, no, that's a turn off. That is a complete and utter turn off to me. Because listen, be proud of your kids, right? When people come into, relationships, I'm not saying that you have to get along with the baby mother or anything like that, right? But don't deny the kids they're yours, especially when they look just like you. Like,
look at his ears, Maury. Yeah.
Like, not
look
even
at his nose. Look at his big, wide, ugly nose. Look at that. That's his.
Yeah,
But
that's
I've
his
encountered that. I've encountered that twice, and that was, years ago, before I even had, children of my own. I only got one, but I'm just saying, before I had a child of my own, I encountered twice where I found out that a guy had kids and told me they didn't. And one time I found out when he took me to his mom's house, barbecue, get whatever, and I see the picture of a baby that looks like
these
just
family
like
members.
him. And
They
then the
give it
mom was like, "Oh, you know who that is, right?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
And this is like after a year of
Oh,
dating.
a year?
Yeah. And I'm like, "No, I don't know who that is. Who is that?" "Oh, that's what I let him tell you." I said,
Now.
"Oh, yeah."
Wow.
So was that a deal breaker for you at that point?
Yeah, it was a deal breaker.
He lied for
How
you.
you lie about a whole person?
I'm just asking for a year.
I don't know.
Maybe he
I
wanted
know
her
that
to.
guy lied to me. Before he had a whole baby. I watched the girl be pregnant for a whole year. Didn't know nothing from nothing. Did nobody say nothing? Nobody raised their hand. And when the word came to me, it was no, what? Okay, so me and the girl, we talked about it. She wanted to come with all that noise and yang, yang, yang over the phone. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He didn't tell me nothing. He ain't denying my baby. He denied my baby. And you know what? She wasn't working. He was paying all the bills. He denied that baby. And what she do that day?
Oh, she took him
Went
to court.
on in there and cooked dinner.
Oh, look at me. I'm like, she took him to court. You like, no, she cooked dinner.
She cooked that dinner that night is what she did. Okay. So yes, these men, they absolutely will be out here, trying to protect whatever the situation is that they got going on, and not want to be truthful about it. I don't know how they can compartmentalize a whole person, and be like, oh no, that's separate from my real life. Like, what do you mean?
I think they be playing games a lot of times too, because it's like, if we don't ask them directly, they will not give us a direct answer. So you could, if you don't answer the question, if you don't ask the right question, you're not going to get the right answer. If you know, like, okay, well, you got kids. Yeah, I got kids. I told you I had kids, right? Didn't I tell you I had kids? You didn't ask me how many kids I have. Because I got 3 instead of, you thought I had 2 because I said kids, and it's actually 14. So, and then again, some of them, like, they already know people judging them about how many kids they have. So they like, okay, I want to date this woman, but she got 1 child. She gonna think something about me because I got 5, So I'm not gonna disclose that information just yet. I'm gonna make her fall in love with me, and then she gonna accept the kids, because she already want to be with me. Which is not fair, guys, but
So I had to pull up this comment here because as soon as I read it in my mind, I was thinking that Mary. She said it's your child.
Yes.
Your own flesh and blood. Gotta face reality. Yeah.
How you saying, girl? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I do a little something sometimes, Not this time, no, okay. But what are they saying in the chat? Because I want to know. So we talk about women and how many, I guess babies or baby mothers they would accept. But I want to hear from like the men, right? Like
flip that around.
So what's going on with that? Like how many, like for men, what is the cutoff for you? Is it kids? Is the number of kids? Or is it the
The
number
baby boy.
of fathers, baby fathers, baby
Let us
daddies?
know, man. Let us know what y'all think. If y'all meet a woman, she's beautiful. She's everything. She's a 10 in your mind. Because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. She
Mhm.
say, I got a child. You like, oh, ain't worry about that. It's stepdaddy season, whatever. But she like, I got 5 kids. Hold up now.
Do it still be stepdaddy season?
Do it still be stepdaddy season? Or do you need to like more qualifiers? You need to ask more questions. Is that me? I got to echo?
It's an echo.
Okay.
But you know what? So recently, Ricky Smiley had his son passed away, and I learned a lot about Ricky Smiley that I did not know. Ricky Smiley is a man of the community for sure. And I learned that he did not know that he had a son until his oldest son was 6 years old. He had no idea.
Mm.
So, and I think he said in the story that the woman, I think it was his wife, had gone on and married somebody, and that man thought it was his kid, whatever, and it came out that it was Ricky's kid. But I also learned that Ricky Smiley has raised 15 kids. So he had a lot of kids running in and out his house. So even though they weren't his actual biological kids, he was coming to a relationship with a whole army.
Yeah.
I'm here. You know what? I'm here for that. I'm here for those men with those Joseph traits. I keep telling y'all, I say this all the time. I'm here for the men with the Joseph traits. You accept children that aren't your own. You take them in, you make them, you feed them until they look like you. Okay. I
Yes.
am I am here for those men because that says a lot about them. Because I mean, just as much as single mothers get beat up on in this space, I think those stepdaddies get a lot of flack too, in this space as well for even like wanting to deal with a woman with children. But it just says something to me about a man. Now, like I tell you, like this is evolution for me, right? Because when I was 20, 21, undergrad doing that, it was like, oh no, like go on with go on with your baby mama, y'all go in and work it out. But now as you get older, you have your own. I think even before I had my own, I had already accepted the fact that most of the men that I meet will probably already have kids.
Yeah,
Um
once
Yeah.
you get to a certain age, like
yeah.
it's just math. Like, and
Yeah, and
then
I didn't have my daughter until I was in my 30s anyway. So it was like I spent a lot of time dating men with kids after that. I don't want to call it immature. I mean, everybody has their own standards of what they want to date, but um yeah. Yeah.
so how many is too many for the woman? What they say?
Let's see. Let's see. I don't see any comments from me. We could just go ahead and hit up the chat. We
Okay.
could go back to Ashley Leanne. This was when she said it's your child. Y'all heard that part.
Mhm.
Terrell Key, welcome. Terrell. Mr. Key has arrived. Mr. Clark don't play.
Mr.
He says,
Key.
not 14 kids. Let's see. Star Child. She says, now you gotta ask how many kids they got in each state. Now, let me
Girl.
tell you, girl,
Oh,
now. Once upon a time, we wouldn't think that was a thing. We thought, like, back in the day when they had a family across town was a thing. But I'm gonna go and say it, y'all truck drivers, shout out to y'all, but y'all know y'all be having babies in all these cities.
They be rolling
Every city carry
stones.
their own women.
Rolling Stone.
They got children every state. So I don't know. In some big towns, you might have some in Houston and Dallas. I don't know. Yeah, so y'all keep that in mind and make sure when y'all asking these men and these women, mostly men though, be specific. Don't be like, oh, do you have any kids? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
how many? You got to go in for the next question. Be specific. Ask for the details because these men, they think they slick. I keep telling y'all, you got to, if you don't ask them the right, well, I told you, only going to answer what y'all ask. Okay, so ask them specific questions.
Is it
All
any
right,
possibles? Like
right.
spades? Is it for an impossible?
For an impossible, do you got a blood test on all of them? Like, just go ahead and do it because I need to know before we move further. You need
Let's
to
move
know.
on past this comment.
He said 5.
He said
Our
5.
homegirl Jayla said 5. That's too many. 5 what? For the women, the woman got too many. 5 kids. That's too many. Hey, if she
5
said,
kids is too many for him.
but Kiki Wyatt now, people keep marrying her with all them churn she got.
Yes, Kiki Wyatt, but she's married now, but this is her 3rd marriage, and she has, well, I think they say collectively 11, but I think only like 9 are like biologically hers, because she takes on the kids, I guess, from a former marriage. But and I don't even know if she said she was gonna stop. I think she's gonna go until she can go.
It's something. It's something. I'm serious. It's something going on. Cause you like, and then and then women like that. What was this, an old movie? I can't remember. But this woman, she loved babies. She loved babies. Like she like having babies, like being pregnant. But when them kids get older, they just like don't even exist to them. They like babies. And she seems like I'll do some research at some point.
I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, I do too. Was that on Lifetime?
It's like
I just love babies.
It was like an old black movie.
Yeah, I think that wasn't the Women of Bruce. Like, no.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. Because it was this woman, like she was living in an apartment, and she like,
she had all the kids. Yes,
yeah.
Yes,
that's a thing. And I think Kiki Wyatt got that going on. Shout out to you, Kiki. Like, don't like think I'm out here bashing you or anything, but she got like it's something going on to like one.
Well, I mean, I think all of her kids are in wedlock, right? I think she had kids with all of her husbands. I think that might be it. She's trying to like, give her husband the kid.
That's for hers. That's her pleasure. That ain't for the man. Because Michael didn't want to have any more kids. Michael was like, we done. We got 7. She's like, I'm still going. We don't have to be together. I'm gonna get a new husband. And these men keep marrying her.
Kiki said, what wall?
What wall? What wall? And I'm gonna do what I want to do. If I want to have 10, 12, 15 kids, y'all keep giving them to me. If God keep blessing me, I'm gonna keep having them.
She got the resources.
Shout out to you. Terrell says NAllen gonna put you on the spot. NAllen has figured this thing out. Because if you do not ask them how many, they will not tell you. Like, oh, you have kids? Oh, yeah, I have a child. We'll say, we're going to volunteer. Yeah, I got one daughter. She's this, and that. She's, her whole life story in her past 8 years. That's what we're going to do. You like, oh, you got kids? Yeah. They mom cool. That's what the man going to say.
Girl, if they even say anything about the mother, girl, they just going to be like, yeah.
Like they fell out the sky or the stork delivered them.
And you be sitting there struggling, trying to find conversation like, oh, okay. Like,
yes. The common sense expert, he says it depends on the number of kids, annual income, and the amount of fathers.
That's a lot of factors.
Yeah, all of the variables. Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's fluid, right?
That's a lot.
So here's my question to him. He said the number of kids, the amount of fathers, and I guess her annual income. So if she is not making enough, then
he gonna cash him out. Y'all know that.
then she can't get with it.
We're gonna drop the link, y'all, at some point. Come on.
How much do kids cost these days? If I have a child in 2023, by the time they are 18 years old, how much money will I like relatively spend on raising this child?
Just one kid?
Yeah, I mean, how much is
I know it's like a couple $100,000. I think.
Is
when you start factoring in, yeah, they do these studies every year.
And if you want to do the Kevin Samuels, if y'all want to take trips, how many trips a year to, private school, and you get the house, you gotta have the car, you gotta have clothes.
Okay,
you gotta have the whole package.
Girl, I think I didn't spend a couple hundred already.
I know I have.
According to Linden Tree's 2021 analysis, North Carolina ranked as the 44th most expensive state to raise a child in. I live in North Carolina.
That's cheap.
Right. So the 44th out of 50 states. So it says with an annual cost of $16,444 or $200 per year, or $295,000 over the span of 18 years.
Oh, look,
16,000 a year. Yeah, that's kind of
TLA
low.
was right. I mean,
Yeah,
250, and I think Celeste, she says what,
300.
300K. They right in the ballpark, right
Yeah.
there. They spot on. Well, I guess TLA would know, right? This is a man that does.
Mhm.
This is what he calculates. He did it for
Yes,
20 years. So shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, TLA.
the
Salute.
Okay,
lead.
so how about this? Okay, just thought about it. So you take this man in, y'all get married, all these kids. Who paying this child support? You paying this child support?
Mm,
Hold up, what? Hold on, I'm
child
sorry.
support.
Oh,
You date
the stuff that he
you with this
pays.
man. Yeah, y'all done got together. He got 4 kids, 4 baby
You got
mamas,
one.
whatever. Right. You know who paying the child support?
And
You
are
gonna
you
be
giving
taking
him any more
the
kids?
child support for these other women's kids?
I,
How does
I
that
was,
work?
How does that work?
I figure
TLA.
that's right. I figure that's state to state, right? I guess the laws on that, but I think once you like, doesn't it work like any other bill that you have? I'm gonna say bill, but like you take on someone else's debt. You know what I'm saying? When you get married, like that's
That's
why
something
people
to think about.
How does that work?
That's $1 million if they got 4 kids.
We're gonna drop the link, TLA. You got to come up and break it down to us. To break it down for us.
That's
let
something
me
to really
Yeah.
consider. Yeah,
Yeah.
because see, with the woman is different because the woman isn't usually the one paying out any child support.
Most
She
of the
don't
time
have
it's
no debt
primary. Yeah.
obligations.
Right.
But the man,
Yeah. You know what, men? You know what? I'm starting to kind of see, but women too, because if we gonna deal with y'all, y'all don't want to help pay back no student loans and buy no houses, but y'all got y'all child support. Mm. Now you put something on my mind here, Joy. I wasn't even thinking about that.
but
mm,
Like if
that's
y'all
something to
married,
think
how does that
about.
work? How does it work?
yeah,
That's something to think about. I mean, it's just some. It's a factor to think about, right? Depending on how old the kids are. I think it's everything we said. How old the kids are. What is the relationship between the two parents? Is it a good co-parent relationship? You know, is he paying child support? Is he not paying child support? Is he in the rears? You know what I mean? He can probably be like, baby. Well, I would think if I would think I know that if I was dating a man that had kids, it probably wouldn't be none of my worry, right? Because that's the type of man I believe I would date, right? Is a man who can be able to do that. Because all of that weighs in on whether or not you should marry someone. These are the type of things you should talk about. And then you have a conversation if you're the future wife and you talking to the baby. I think y'all should have a couple of conversations, right? I say I always, but like you just want to have some type of interaction to make sure that this is you know a good relationship. Nobody wants to be having to deal with like drama and all that other stuff. I don't think I would. If there was drama there, I don't even know if I want to get married.
It's not. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
That is crazy though. But yeah, there's so many things to think about with these kids out in this world. Oh
Yeah, we
Lord.
about to drop the link. Give me
Yes, my sex is strong. Said, ain't no way I'm marrying a man with 4 kids. And that's also like when we were saying
hey. Wow.
when we were saying earlier about the age of the kids. Now, if
Mhm.
you got a 2-year-old and you paying child support, you got how many years left to pay child support? And I'm gonna do what with you? I got
or
my own list.
18-year-old in college.
Yes.
That's
Yes. Baby mama
expensive.
leftover money is what you get. Oh Lord. Hence why Celeste says no
No
kids.
kids.
None. Common sense expert says once y'all get married, would you be okay with $1,200 a month going to another household? Mm. It depends on how much they're here, I guess.
Yes, I would be. I'll be fine with it.
Yeah. He probably, if he paying that much, he got it. Sim says household income is household income, period. Okay.
Yep.
Men without a college kids. I was like grown kids at this age. It's okay too. Celeste says increases in all. Let's see what Lee says. He says, I would date a woman with 6 kids max. If she has 6 kids, we can go out to eat at really nice restaurants with her child support checks. Oh,
Hey,
yes, because she is getting paid.
Lee must be
Hopefully,
getting the women paid. Okay.
hopefully, Because, if she got a deadbeat baby daddy or he a pookie, he just was fine and giving her all them children, y'all ain't going nowhere unless you paying dad stepdaddy season. Sim says, what happened to Joseph traits? And we said Joseph. That means we're married. We're not, we ain't Joseph. Y'all Joseph. My sexy strong is laughing at TLA. Everybody think that's funny. TLA said, we gonna cash them checks. We gonna cash your baby daddy out, sweetheart. Come join the lead attorney, okay? Everybody's star child. Everybody's laughing. So what y'all think? Y'all need to tell us. Lead attorney said he'll take a woman with 6 kids. Is there some kind of limit? Like you 6 kids, you're gonna pay the same amount, whether it's 6 or 12 or something like that. Why 6? Why 6? Because there's just so many kids, or what? I cannot hear.
That's a lot.
Yes. Okay.
We can't hear you.
Oh, that was me. I was on mute. Sorry. Look, I was saying TLA is cha-chinging. He's going to make sure that woman that he dates gets the appropriate amount of child support for each and every one of those kids. And then they're going to go to Fogo and and keep the what's the name on green and just keep it coming. I mean,
would y'all give these men any more kids? Like if he got 2 kids or dating a man, like a friend of mine, my cousin, she was like, after she was married and divorced, she would not date men that didn't have kids because they're gonna want you to have some most of the time. Would y'all date a man that didn't have kids at this point? Because we have them, and well, unless if they old enough, I would. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
You don't want to. You don't want any kids. You cool with that? I don't. I'm good either way. So what would y'all do? Would y'all, if this man say he wants some more, if a man doesn't have any kids, y'all would have more kids at this age?
If the man said that that's what he wanted, I would have to strongly consider it.
Yeah. I mean, I think if it comes to that point, I would probably, trust me, I'll probably be like, but I honestly, at the end of the day, if I'm with this man, we're married or whatever, and he doesn't have any, he wants to have kids. Yeah, I would.
Okay.
No problems. We can go ahead and get started now.
So either way, y'all would. If he didn't want any kids, he was cool. Y'all be like, okay, that's fine. I'm good on that too.
I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
Okay. The lead attorney says I'll do all of her child support cases for free.
Cashing them out. I'm telling you.
Shout out to the lead attorney. Yes, he's like, look, baby, I got you. How your divorce going? How that child support going? Okay, sweetheart, I got you. The common sense expert, he says many men are in jail because they don't pay child support. Some have told me it's easier to stay in jail rather than to pay child support. Why won't they pay this child support? Why y'all don't want to pay child support? Those are your kids. They don't want me to see my kids, all that mess. Why they don't want to pay this child support? Because they got it. They be quitting jobs. They'll be moving around. Y'all be dodging this child support. Why? I get my kid every weekend. Okay? Like, tell us. Y'all get active in the chat, y'all. Let us know. Like, what are your deal breakers when it comes to these kids and these men and women? My sexy is strong says, I keep finding men without kids. I'll have another child if he can support us. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all, not a woman saying that the man should be able to support her. Y'all know how.
They don't want to hear that.
But he should.
Yes, Jess, talk about it. She says, hello, everyone. Welcome, Joy. Jess. Welcome. Sim says you all would marry him when he makes $42,000 a year.
Here we go.
Ooh, the man with all the kids.
I'm out of it. I'm out of it.
I would say hit the link, but it's a little early for you because you know how you come after dark, okay?
Girl,
y'all, we do have the link dropped.
He come with the quiet storm
dropped
voice.
and it's pinned to the top. Yes, guys, come up here and tell us your stories. Yes, so y'all had one experience with a guy with a child. They had her in college, him and his ex-girlfriend, and they pretty much had 50-50 back then. He wasn't on like court order child support, but he paid his money. He used to get his child. Like when I say he would get her, I'd be like, her mama can't keep her this weekend. He was like, now as a parent myself, I was like, I thinking back on it, it was like, I was so cold blooded for that. Like, why was that? But it's like, he'd be like, no, I'm getting my daughter. I'd be like, okay. Yeah. Like every weekend, he was like, did not miss. Like, if we were going to games, if we were doing anything, he was getting his daughter. But he also was using her as a crutch because he was lying too. Because sometimes, because he was, let my cousin introduce me to this dude. Anyway, and if you watch this video, oh well, I'm talking about you. So anyway, sometimes it would be like, because he would like travel for work a lot. And y'all gotta watch these traveling men. Watch them. Okay, because they the ones got the babies everywhere and the lies everywhere and women everywhere. So anyway, he was like working for this software development company. They used to like do stuff like build like Blackboard and stuff like that for like universities. So anyway, so he would fly in on the weekend. Every Friday he would fly in, every Monday morning he would fly out. So this particular weekend, he came in, he was like, oh, she with the babysitter, his daughter. I said, the babysitter? Who's the babysitter? Like it wasn't his mom, or wasn't it? I'm like, who's this babysitter? I always was talking about this babysitter. My cousin, he would be talking about, oh, that's the babysitter. So one time, y'all know I was living in New Orleans and it was Bayou Classic. And I was like, where's your daughter? He could save her down there too. I went to Southern. He went to Grambling. I'm gonna go ahead and put you out there. And so I was like, where your daughter? And they were like, oh, she's with the babysitter. I'm like, who is this babysitter? Who is the babysitter? So I'm looking at the pictures after the fact, and I was like, who is this girl right here? Who is this? They were like, oh, that's the babysitter. I said, what now? Y'all know that was his girlfriend, right?
Oh, wow.
That was his girlfriend. Not the little girl's mama.
Not even the girl's mother.
No, this girl was keeping his child while he pretty much was dating me. Okay, so there's that. I don't believe none of these men be saying about these kids, about these women. Baby. I'm like, no, sir. So he's like, oh, she was the babysitter. I'm like, who is the babysitter? She's like, who is it? It's not her mama. Who's the babysitter? So yeah, that was my only experience with a man with a child, and he like gave me a bad taste in my mouth. So that was the end of that. That was my one and done with that. But now it's fast forward 15 years later. Yeah, I was like 20 then. So yeah, so that was that. I was like, who is this babysitter? Because he used to get her. He was like, his child was always, when he would come in town, like he would come in flying on the weekend, his child was with him. He would get her. His mama would send her in her pajamas because, like they don't want to pass them clothes back and forth. Because I learned about all that kind of stuff.
Look. You was a stepmama?
Child wear the clothes over here. Then all the clothes start piling up in one house, and they like they want their clothes back and all that kind of stuff. So mom would send her in her pajamas, and he'd send her right back on Monday in the same pajamas after the weekend. So yeah, that was that, y'all. It was so crazy. And my cousin, he knew everything the whole time, Yeah, girl. I was mad at him for a while. I'm like, why you didn't tell me? But anyway, so that was my child story.
I was really naive at one point in time. And I remember like I had to be like 20, 22, 23. I was definitely out of college. So, and I was dating this guy, and I just got into the military, and I'm in Texas. I'm living in Texas. And I met a guy, right? We got the same rank. So it's like, this all the feels, right? Oh, power couple, whatever, right? And so we dated. This is someone different from the one that I was dating for a year. So that's why I was like, I was so naive. And we dated, and I used to go to his house. When I would go over to his house or his apartment, it used to be a picture of a baby sitting up there. And I'm like, oh, who's that? He was like, oh, that's my nephew, because he had like an older sister. He's like, oh, that's my nephew. I'm like, oh, you're so cute. So I'm like, okay, the nephew kind of looked like you a little bit, whatever. It's your nephew, right? And he told me he didn't have any kids and all of that, right? So right before I was about to deploy to Iraq, maybe a couple of months before that, we had a conversation, and he was like, oh, you're about to leave. Kind of want to like lock it down, like, you with me, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that, right? I'm like, oh, this is moving. Like, this is good. So after I'm already overseas, I'm already deployed, I'm in Iraq and everything like that, right? We would talk almost every single day. We would email, just all of that. Everything was going good. But all of a sudden, like, stuff just started to like kind of like die out a little bit. And I'm just like, okay, right. Okay, like, what's going on? So I would call sometimes and he wouldn't answer. Or it took a couple of days to get back on the email. So I like finally got like on the phone with him one day. I'm like, what's going on? Everything okay? So on and so forth. And he's like, yeah, everything okay. But I don't know. It was just something in me, right? I guess it's the same. Like, it was just something in me that just didn't feel right. So I had a connect that worked in what we like military HR, and so to speak. And I was like, girl, I don't know. I just, we're talking this and she's like, well, girl, let me look up his information. Lo and behold, it's a certain section of our profiles will tell you, like, if you're married, if you got kids, and all this other stuff. And girl, when I was on the phone with her and I heard what she was saying, she was like, Ty. And I was like, what? She's like, did you know he was married? I was like, no. Like, I've been to his apartment. I've stayed at his apartment. Like, girl, you know us. Like, what you mean? We've been out? Like, no. She was like, he got kids? I was like, no, he doesn't. He told me he don't have any kids. She was like, yes, he does. And I was like, are you sure? She was like, yes. Now I'm asking her, is she sure? But this is her job. This is what she do. She was like, yes. And so I'm like, mind you, I'm still deployed. So I'm like, I'm like, what? So she does a little bit more digging for me. And then she was like, girl, she's here, like back in Texas, like here. And I was like, what? And she worked on the base, like, too, and like in a place where like we go all the time. So like I've seen this lady before. I've interacted with this lady, not knowing who this lady like was. And I'm like, so not only did he have like kids, but he was like also married. So of course that conversation, when I finally got a hold of him on, like, it was just like, I was like, I can't.
Sorry, Mom.
Like, I can't. I can't. They will lie. And this is another one I was with for a while. I was getting duped. That's why, when I hear people talk these days, I'm like,
yes, y'all come up, hit this link, y'all. Tell us your stories. Yes, tell us. Yes, I was like, that was it for me. I don't want to deal with this again. My mama told me not to deal with these men with these kids. I was like 20. Yeah, I was like 20. Well, I might have been like 22, 23. Because they'll get you. If you ain't asking the right questions and really like, keeping your eyes and your ears open, they're going to get you. They're like, oh, yeah. I thought I told you. You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. You went right over that question when I asked you.
I don't know what it was. I hope that's changed since then, right? Like, I hope that's changed.
We changed.
The mid 2000s. I hope men, like, have like changed and they're more forthcoming with information.
I doubt it.
They know.
I don't know though. I just don't believe them. Just talk about it. Says marriage and kids is how to get extra money, and you don't have to live in the barracks.
The barracks, yes. So the barracks is like the military housing on post for the lower enlisted soldiers. So it's like a dorm. It's like a dorm,
and they get extra money.
Yeah. So the single soldiers, no kids, not married, they live in the B's. We call it the B's. They don't get extra money for living in the barracks. You don't get any money for living in the barracks. You get what we call BAH. You get that when you live off post.
That's what
you had it. Yes, they were together for BAH. So if you get married, you know how Lee always talks about like off-label marriages or whatever.
This
is like a big thing. It's not that big.
Reasons
anymore.
That people get married. Yeah.
It's not that big anymore as it was, like as it used to be. Like I would say, like 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s. It's still a thing, but it ain't as. It's not as as big as it used to be. But if you got married, you couldn't stay in the barracks, which is like a single person's dorm, right? You had to move either in on post housing for families, or you would have to move off of base or off post. And if you moved off post, you get a housing allowance to offset your rent or your mortgage or whatever have you.
Mhm.
And so a lot of people, because they didn't want to live in the barracks, they would
They
get
would do.
married, live off post, and like bank the BAH, right? Go find some hole in the wall apartment or whatever on the wrong side of town or whatever have you. And they would just kind of like cash in the BA. So I would go, if I was but soldiers would go and just like find like some random girl, go to the courthouse. They're not like in a real marriage. They're just like, that's my home girl or whatever have you. They would go find her, go to the courthouse, get married, move all post, and now they banking like, BAH. So
Oh, wow.
it's not that prevalent anymore like it used to be, because like rent and mortgage, baby, like, the government, it's not, depending on where you are. Yeah, if you living in like San Diego or California, something like that, you're not getting much.
Sim says, you ladies love hearing those sweet nothings in your ear. The lies.
The lies be the sweet nothing. It's the
Girl,
gaslighting for me.
I'm
Oh my
telling
goodness.
Because they done built up to you finding out about this kid. They done lied so much, you don't know what's the truth.
They don't even know anymore. They told
Mm-mm.
your story so long, they believe them. Star Child 18 said, don't be a barrack 304 now. Come on now. Come on now.
child.
Sim says it was a contract marriage.
Contract
Child.
marriages. Yep.
Is that kind of like when people get married for like a green card?
That too.
Oh, yeah. That's what people
That
be giving.
too.
Yeah.
That
That's
That's true.
too.
crazy. That's crazy. So what y'all think, chat? Come on, y'all. Tell us what y'all think about Nick Cannon, Future, Kiki
So
Wyatt, all these people.
a lot of people try to defend Nick Cannon, right? And they say, well, he has the means, and he can take care of all of them. But do y'all think like of being able to financially take care of kids is like enough?
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Because he came out and said recently, he was like, one of his biggest, I don't want to say regrets or whatever, but I guess regrets is that he can't spend the time with all of his kids. But a lot of people are saying like, well, he has the money, they taken care of. And I'm just like, it's more than the money.
Right.
But I think in America, just based on our culture, that's what we put emphasis on. Like the almighty dollar is everything in America. And so because that's what we're so deeply rooted in, that is the first thing that people can go to be like, oh, it's okay, they got the money.
Mm-hmm.
Because so often people are crying and complaining that they don't have the money. And oh well, and like I don't know if it's really a conversation now. I haven't heard it very often, but back in the day, the Democrats and Republicans, they would be all like, oh, not my tax dollars, living on the system and all of that.
Yeah.
And so when you have the means, yeah, that's the only thing people seem to care about is like, but can you pay for them though? As long as what you got going on don't impact my pockets, who cares? But it's so much more to bringing up a human being to make sure that they are, socially responsible and they're good
Right.
people and they have good character, morals, and they're able to go off after their 18, 19, 20, 25 years of being with you to reproduce the things that hopefully you as a parent have been able to instill in them. I mean, honestly, for the sake of humanity, it really needs to be the very first thing that we start thinking about before we go and be fruitful and multiply. Like, do you have your stuff together? Like, are you a good person? Do you have traits that you want to pass on to people? Because this world is a terrible place to raise kids in this day and age. Like, I mean, we could be doomed any day now. Didn't they just shoot down something over
A
Alaska.
balloon.
Like it's so many things, and there's so many different factors and variables and external sources that could pollute your child if you're not responsible enough as a mother, a father, and you've not built a village of responsible adults to pour into your kids. Like, they doomed. Like, but no, nobody talks about it. We don't care.
But look, do you see a difference between what Nick Cannon and his soon to be 12 kids, that situation, and let's say Kiki Wyatt? Because a lot of people point out the difference is Nick Cannon's kids are spread out in different households, whereas Kiki has all of her kids all under one household. Does that make a difference?
Yeah,
It does. I think it does to an extent, but it's like if you keep having all these kids and the older kids are raising the younger ones and you still out here touring and singing, you're not really there either.
True. I mean, but she ain't like on. I mean, she is.
I mean, she's not like she was when she was like in a prime, whatever.
I said she ain't about to do the
Beyonce
tour.
Her version of the prime. But still, that's still something to consider
when she come to town. I mean, I go see her.
Yeah. So, but it's something to think about. Like I said, the older kids are raising the younger ones probably because she ain't really. If her mental status is what I think it is, she's not dealing with the older kids. They help him raise the younger ones. So, it gets to a point where it's not enough of a person, to be raising all these kids like that, though.
I guess when you have older kids that can, I mean, she has like grown older kids, right? Like,
I think so. I know
in
their
20s and stuff, right? Is that more ideal being able to have all of your, John and Kate plus 8? Like, can you have all of my siblings around me versus I probably won't ever see my siblings until I'm like old enough to where my, my parents will work out their situation so I can go see like my sibling.
I think it's good, and in that case with all of them being in the same house. But I have 2 younger sisters. I'm 5 years older than my next sister and 10 years older than my youngest sister. And if my mama, she used to be like, you want to wash dishes or watch the baby? I'm like, that's your baby. She would tell you, like, I never like kept kids like that. Like I keep my own child, whatever. I know people probably be judging me, but I'm not the godmother. I'm not the babysitter. I keep my child, and now I will, like, if I got my child, keep my nieces and nephews, whatever. But
if you ain't got your baby,
I'm not. That's your baby, mama. And she was like, you know what? That is my child. Like, yes, you need to keep your own child. And my mama didn't really play, and I couldn't talk to her like that. Like, like it was like this. My mama's a disciplinarian, like strict, like serious. So it was like for me to say that, like she was like, you know what? You're right. That is my baby. And I'm like, I'll get him and wash these dishes because I'm not keeping no baby. You're like,
you slipped through that day.
Yeah, I made she let me make it, but she was like, she got a point.
Make it that day.
I'm not. You need to get your own baby,
right?
So there's that, because that's why I'm like, what about the older kids? They still like kids too, but it's like now they got to be raising your children. Stop having all these kids if you can't take care of them yourself, mama. Mm-hmm. So I take a little bit of an issue with Kiki and Nick. Even though Kiki got her kids under one roof, it's still a problem for me to an extent. So
you still sound like you said that under your breath a little bit, mama. like if she see this, she be like,
now why you said that on there? I'm like, it was true, it. You know what happened. Still can't look in the eye saying like, So, that's what I think about that, having all like, kids 15, 20, 30 years apart. And then the older ones got to keep the babies, and you still having babies. Like your mama still having kids, and you now are having kids. Yeah. And you 25, 30.
I'm like, mama pregnant at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And not even a ghetto kind of way. It's like your mama literally like had a baby. She 40 something, you 20. So it's like, let me have a turn, mama. You know, it's going to your grandma season. You know,
Your mother said she's not done. She said, "What wall?" That's what she
she
said.
said, "What? Wow." I'm like,
She
yeah,
said,
that's
"What
enough. You
wall,
got enough.
girl?
That's enough.
I'm
If you
still
can't
churning
keep your
them out."
baby, yeah, you can't keep your baby. You know how they tell 16-year-olds, you can't keep your baby. You don't need to have. You need to watch your own baby. You can't go this time. Okay. But Jess
Mama
says,
on punishment.
okay, you need
You
to watch
can't
your
go.
baby. Yeah, you can't go. You need to just stay on watch your children. Jess says Nick Cannon should go to jail for trying to pass along genetic disease. Oh wow, Jess. I mean,
Just ain't playing with him. He does have lupus, and
Yeah.
I don't know anything
it's,
about
yeah.
lupus. I don't know anything about it, so I'm not. But he did a skit or a stand up or something about something a while ago. This is probably before all of these kids, and well, I think he was with Mariah at the time because I think he was about to have his first. They were about to have the babies, and he did a skit and he talked about passing down the bad gene, like badass kid gene, like because he was a badass kid and he didn't want to like pass down that gene to his kids being bad too. But a lot of people took a lot of people are taking that stand up that he did and thinking that he's using like being bad like a baby kid as the fact that he had like lupus and he was scared to pass down that trait. I mean, because he had lupus, should he not have kids? I don't think that. The kids that he has in abundance, like if he had 9 kids all with Mariah, I don't think a lot of people would be out here, you know, pointing the finger at him. But like when he is spread, he is spreading that seed all over. And I don't like to point my fingers at people and say you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. Yeah. But I would not sign up. Granted, he ain't coming my way, and that's cool. That's fine with me. But I would not sign up to be the 13th.
Do you think? Well, oh, go ahead, dear.
I was just gonna say we're supposed to be more advanced in our thinking now. Like, back in the day when people had farmland and things and they needed, lots of kids, 8, 10, 12 kids, that behavior was more socially acceptable to have so many.
But they didn't have
now we have a better understanding of, the psychological and emotional development that it takes to fully raise another person. And so Nick Cannon is a very smart person. I think he's an intelligent man. And he got to know better. He has to know better. So I don't know.
Well, he says he can financially take care of them. I mean, he tries his best to be in all of their, lives. But as the numbers keep growing, I mean, I don't know if these kids are even how old is Morocco and Mariah's kids, the oldest
and
kids.
Monroe.
Are they 10 yet?
I feel like they're like 10 and 11.
They're like 10, 12 years old. I mean, these are like, they're still kids. They're not, I can't even say teenagers. I don't know if that's the case or not, but like these are still like children.
Yeah. I wonder if that's traumatizing to them. Like daddy having another baby. Daddy having another baby. Daddy having another baby. Oh, this such and such mom right here.
Yeah.
And it's such a dad, like, and this is like in the media, it's like, it's not even like, rumors around a little small town or anything like that. This is like,
worldwide
headlines. Yeah, everybody, they can see it all the time. Anytime they want to pull it up. Your daddy having another baby. Sim says our population numbers have come in the community overall. What is this?
Population numbers have come.
Do you care about our representation? What are you trying to say, Sim? You need to hit the link. Go on, hit the link.
Hit the link, Sim.
You need to come up in an hour, but you need to come on up right now. Go ahead, talk. And tell us what you're trying to say in this chat because I don't know what you mean. Ashley says, how can you love each individual child based on their own love language? You can't just group all your kids together. Every child is different and requires their own way of giving and receiving love. That's what that's the thing about Kiki's kids and Nick's kids. They don't know them kids. They don't know them.
You don't know which one. You just start calling out any name, whoever comes.
Right.
Josiah,
You don't know
you
their
know who I'm
birthday.
talking to.
How old are you now? How you 12, right? Oh no, you 14. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
Mama, you had your 12th baby on my birthday last year. Okay.
right.
You don't know the
Which is
kid.
funny because even like back in the day, right, when people were having, a lot of kids like that, right? You'll find. I mean, my dad came from a large family. I want to say I can't even give you an exact number, but I know it was around like 9, 10. Like he was like number 5
Yeah.
of a lot of them. But even before that, right? Like when they were having like 13 kids and just, a lot of kids, like some of them kids don't even know what year. I mean, I know it's more factors in it than that. Okay. But if you ask some of your like great grandparents, if they're still living, or your great grandparents, something like that, back in the day, they probably tell you they don't know what year they were born in. They might have a different age for like certain things. And I know it's a lot of factors that play into that. So don't try to come for me in the chat like ma'am, slavery, ma'am.
Girl, you can ask your uncles and aunties. We ain't got to go back to no grandparents,
I guess
no
you ain't
great
gotta go back
grandparents.
that far.
It was 9 of my mama and them, and 11 of my daddy. And my dad has a twin, so this one was older than me, but this one was born right after that one. Yeah, my uncle said to me last year, and we had a family reunion every other year on my dad's side, and he was like, "That's your real name." And I know my family. They know me. Like, they know me. My uncle said that to me. I did not know that was your real name. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I stayed with you during the summer and all kind of stuff. You know, like, you know me. Yeah. So it's like, all them kids, come on now. Like, yeah. But like I said, yeah. We don't have to go back, 2, 3 generations. We can go back one. Right. We can go back one.
I'll ask my mother, like, what year was Uncle so-and-so born? And she's the oldest, right? And she be like, I don't know. I can't even tell what year you were born. I'm like, I'm gonna need you to get it together, lady.
I was gone from the house by then. Yeah. They was way after me. Yeah. Ashley says, my 2 kids are totally different. Their love languages are different. I can't imagine more. My sex is strong. She said, I hate to see parents expecting their older kids to help raise their younger kids. It's irresponsible. You said it, my sex is strong.
Okay.
Not me.
Those
you
your kids.
Said it. Yes. Sim, you gonna hit the link or not? We're gonna have to start calling y'all out, guys.
Okay.
So let's see. So okay, we asked earlier for those of you who are now just entering the to the My Unsolicited Opinion podcast. How many kids is too many kids when you're out here dating and meeting people? Say you're in your 20s, your 30s, 40s. We don't know if you're whatever age you are. How many kids is too many kids? Like, what's a deal breaker number for you guys? Put it in the chat if you think any kids. If you think if a person has kids at all, that's a deal breaker for you. Put a 1 in the chat. If y'all think it's no kid, like if y'all think 1, 2, 10, doesn't matter. I'm okay if a person has kids. Then put a 2 in the chat. Let us know what y'all think about that. Because we are trying to figure out like how many is too many. And we were talking earlier, we kind of broke it down to not just how many kids a person has, it's how many other parents are involved, how many women are involved for the men, how many men are involved for the women. If a woman has 2 baby daddies, how do y'all feel about that? 2 or more, or if you're like, okay, she got a child, but whatever your restrictions are, let us know what y'all think about that.
I remember when I was very young, I knew a lady. I still know her now, but I remember when I was really young, because I used to call her my big sister. She's about 11 years older than I am. She had a baby the day before her 16th birthday, and she had a second child when she turned 21. She ended up meeting a man when she was about 23. So she had 2 kids, 2 baby daddies. She got her tubes tied, got married. She was like, no. She said, Joy, this is ghetto. She said, I got 2 kids and 2 baby daddies, and I ain't even 25. She said, no more. Like, I
Okay.
don't care if I'm married. It did not matter to her.
Yeah.
She didn't like the way that it looked. You know what I mean? And admittedly, I mean, she was a kid, like 15, you know, you had a baby, you 20, 21 is still a kid too. You know what I mean? To a
Yeah.
certain degree. She was like, oh no, don't worry about me. She was like, we can get married and everything. And she's still married to her husband. I think they 22 years in now, something like
Mm.
that.
Mm.
And she absolutely she laid it that she said no. And I remember when she got a tube tied, I was like, you so young, are you sure? She said she had to go do the North plant first because the doctors was like, absolutely not. But as soon as she turned 30, she's like, sew this up, tie it up, burn it, do whatever you got to. She was not up for having 3 kids with 3 different men under no circumstances. So
I can understand that. I can see it. I mean, because it's like, it is personal preference, but it's like if I get to that point, I'm not having more kids. Like if it's two or more, baby daddies.
But there's some men that will sign. See, I'm telling you, I'm not signing up to be 9, 10, 13. There's some men that's going to sign up to be 9, 10, and 13. And I'll just be like, oh, I'm not calling nobody out. So please don't make me have to snatch nobody up in the chat. Okay. What I'm saying is that some people, there are some people, men and women, that really don't care about being, I mean, clearly, right? When it comes to Nick Cannon, there are women signing up to be 12, 13, 14, whatever. And I feel like just with the same thing with Kiki Wyatt, there are men signing up to be like, you know what I mean? Like, this is not, sis is not lacking. She's all of her kids were.
how old is she now?
Girl, she's like not that much older than us.
Ain't we the same age? I thought we was about the same age, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I might be the same age, but
hold on, let me see. How old is this lady? I think she started having kids like in the early 2000s. How old is
really Ty?
In the early 2000s.
She's 40.
Yeah.
She's 40. Her birthday, she'll be 41 on March the 10th. And she just had a baby. So her parts are still working. Very good.
I mean, it's a lot of people out here, Gwen Stefani is pregnant and she's 50, ain't she? But I mean, Holly Weird is something different. Some people got the money to get to be, to do the things. That's not normal, for every woman, but what's normal? Every woman is different.
Right.
Every woman is different. And out here they tell you hit the wall when you hit 30. And I'll be like, oh baby, I had mine after. Ooh. So, but
I think I was 30. Yeah. Wait, I was 31. That's crazy. See, there ain't no wall. We said it here first, guys. There's no wall unless you build it.
No wall.
Unless you build it.
Well, I mean, everybody got an expiration date now, y'all.
On what?
On a tombstone. That's where it's written.
Yeah, because I'm right like, as far as like now, if you want to be dating these men ain't got no kids and then they want more kids, I
know men that would be just let me tell you how some men think. They will date older. They will date older women just because they can shoot the club up and not have like they just want to pow 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 because they want to
be reckless. They
want to be reckless with it. And I'm just
what's wrong with them?
That's how they be having them oops kids at 45.
Right. Them change your life babies.
Like, how did this happen to me?
I thought I was done with it.
I know how it happened.
You thought you was done. And all
they know how it happened too.
Look at you with twins. Because you know the older you get, the more likely you are to have.
Because they just start coming. They just start funneling them things out them too.
We say it's the
The ovaries be like, we gotta empty the clip.
Yeah, okay. Oh my goodness. Like how many we got left now? Before they spoil. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
The comments experts, he says 2 or more baby daddies run. Okay. Condemned you. He says it always starts with the woman for me. If I like her enough, I will take on some kids. We said that. Thank you for
I'm
being
telling
honest
you.
about that.
Yeah.
We said it. We
I
said
On
appreciate
it.
that
Joseph.
a lot.
Joseph
Yes.
loved
Joseph.
Mary
We're gonna
enough.
let Ty has coined that phrase, the Joseph traits.
Yes, Joseph Trace. He loved her enough that when she came to him and said, this is God's baby, baby,
He stepped in line.
baby,
He said,
he
all
was
right,
like, this is
if,
God's baby.
if you
And
say
then
so.
what happened was the men back then said, oh, you wildin', y'all got to go. And so they had to go.
Go on, tell the real story. Tell it, Ty.
Let me stop. Because
it's like, don't cancel us, y'all.
Let me stop. Let me stop.
We,
But I'm
we be having these conversations. It's like it's in our head, and it's like between us women.
Mhm.
But we can't let y'all get a peek inside of that. It's like,
Right, we was having girl talk.
could we get away with that though? Like, yeah, this okay, immaculate conception. Trust me, baby.
Yes. Was there such thing as
Our
immaculate
baby.
conception before sweet baby Jesus? Oh, did she make that up?
Well,
I love a man with Joseph traits.
Oh,
Just
yes,
trust
y'all
me
men.
on this
You know what?
one.
They get these men a bad rep out here. There's some good men out here, and we appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
no. And Stepdaddy season and the Joseph traits, because it's so crazy. Sometimes I think about that, and it's like, Joseph, he's an interesting character.
Yeah, you got to break that down. I mean, listen, I'll never be the one to sit here and try to give anybody the history of the Bible. Okay, that is not me. But I when I look at it from a very shallow surface point of view, I'm like, there's this young girl, she's pregnant.
Is that his wife at the time? They met.
They were not wed, right? Or see, that's why I need to go back to
Sunday.
We
need to touch up on our Bible. Joy, you ain't our Jesus girl.
Somebody tell me.
I'm gonna be at church tomorrow. Y'all,
I don't think they
are. Okay, were they married or not then?
Yes, they were. Let's
Jesus. I gotta go back to Bible. I gotta go back to Sunday school.
Me too. That COVID messed me up with church.
It did. I got COVID brain
with that. Yeah,
it's so bad. It's so bad.
So go ahead.
My grandmother would be like, "Oh no,
Lord."
Anyway, either way, right? This child was the son of God. Whatever you believe in, if you believe in the nativity story, he was the son of God. That's how he was conceived.
And it was just like that was it. That's the story.
That's the story. That's what she came with. She said, I don't know how this happened. I just know God told me.
We're going to hell.
I'm done. I don't want no more.
Okay, I was just saying though, it's so crazy, right? This is another one of those moments. It's like,
But like they will tear a stepdaddy apart. They will tear a stepdaddy apart.
They be like, these women be lying and stuff.
A man says he said it's a wall for both. I agree.
There's a wall if you build it.
Y'all heard it. He agrees with us. We say the men got a wall. I've been trying to talk about this man wall in the modern man for about 2 weeks now. Nobody wants to get on board. Thank you, common sense expert. What's the wall for the men when the worms start worming? Okay, Real Bravado Network says change of life, baby. Yes, it's like, whoa, I ain't even think I could have no more kids, and here I am. Here we are. Surprise. Surprise.
They be the oldest parents at the kindergarten at the open
That's
house.
Your grandma? No, that ain't my grandma. That's my mama. Little children be grown. They come out grown. They be like, go fix me some water.
Some babies been here before.
Jess says, I don't agree. Common sense. Back in the day, women threw babies. Lord have mercy, girlfriend.
Brenda's baby. She talking about Brenda's baby.
Brenda's.
Wait, what did he say to trigger that statement?
I don't know.
I don't know. Something about the money. Let me go back up. I don't know.
Existence wasn't enough. Okay.
If it
Just throwing
wasn't
us
for
a curveball.
common sense says if it wasn't for child support and government assistance, women would make better choices when it comes to having all these babies. And Jess came through with a word that we don't want to.
Women don't care about the money the government got. They'll throw the babies away. Don't cancel us,
That's
YouTube.
not funny. I can't.
It's not, but it's like
somebody go to commercial. Somebody cut to commercial.
Again. Ty said this in a previous episode. Why do we always go to the mothers and not the absent fathers? Y'all keep saying, "Oh, the government paying for these babies." Okay, the women. Okay, say the women have a reason. Okay, good. What about these men? What's their excuse for being irresponsible and just shooting it up and having all these babies out here? Let's talk about them. Even though I'm not like a man hater or nothing like that, I'm with y'all. But why are we not talking about them?
The standards be low on both sides.
Yes, but it's like I feel like we going hard. Like these men, like if the men having all these kids, like that. I know so many men like our age, they got so many kids, and it's like nobody's saying anything. They still out here looking good, getting even more kids. Anyway, Sim says Joseph was the original stepdaddy.
There you go.
Tell us about it. My sexiest drone said, yes, stepdaddy season. It's a year round, ain't it? Is it year round? Yeah, do y'all think it's all year? When is the peak of stepdaddy season? Do y'all think it peaks like during the school year, during the summers or spring break when these kids got going break? When these stepdaddies stepping in to go ahead and take it over? Stepdaddy season. Y'all don't know? What time of year?
It's definitely not the summer. It definitely ain't the summer.
Okay.
Right?
Probably during the fall. I feel like it's fall. I feel like it's going more into the fall. For some reason, I don't really know for sure, but I just got a feeling like it's around the fall.
I'll tell you what, if you're looking for a stepdaddy, I'll tell you where you go. This is where you go. On Saturdays, go to Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese is where all the baby daddies take their kids that they got custody for, got visitation for the weekend. They take the kids and the new girlfriend, take them all to Chuck E. Cheese so he can show how, you know what I'm saying, he do by Chuck E. Cheese is where the baby daddies be on Saturday.
Okay.
Stepdaddy. Tell us, y'all, what y'all think. Tell us in the chat.
You're gonna find stepdaddies at the AAU games.
AAU
basketball games.
My sister used to play AAU. They be there. Yep. And at the AAU basketball and football. They had all them the soccer. They had all them little tournaments and all that on the weekends.
Yep. That's
about something.
What?
I remember, I totally forgot about this. I remember my very first real job. I was working at the radio station and there was a guy that was there and he was cute, but it was just like he was cute in passing. And I will never forget I saw him with his kid once or twice, but his little girl was at the radio station too. She was about 3 years old. And they had this cute interaction where he was like pretending to call Santa Claus because she wasn't behaving. So I learned very quickly. I'm actually a little bit of a sucker for a man with kids when I see him with his kids. I am.
Yeah,
that's kind of a turn on to me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I totally forgot about that because I was like, oh, look at him.
It's attractive.
It was so attractive.
It's attractive. You just gotta make sure it's consistent, you know.
He definitely was. Absolutely, he was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
You be in Chuck E. Cheese one Saturday with your tokens and your tickets, and then you never see the baby.
I might have to go to the Chuck E. Cheese now.
No, you don't. No, you don't want the Chuck E. Cheese. You need to go to the AAU game.
Yes, those are more consistent.
Yeah, those kids will grow up and then they'll have money of their own because they're gonna go to the league.
And they just doing it all the time. Them kids, their schedules during AAU, like they are serious. So they taking them to all the games.
Yeah, the baby daddies is at Chuck E. Cheese. The stepdaddies is at the AAU games.
Okay.
Okay.
I can see it.
Okay.
The common sense expert, he says, ladies, how long do you date a man before you introduce him to your father?
My father is a deceased veteran. So that's my answer.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I do not bring a lot of men around my family, period. And it's so crazy because I was having this conversation with my cousin about who we bring around, like my grandmother, right? So if you come to my grandmother's house, it means something, at least, for me. And for her, she was saying the same way. She's married. She's been married for a while. And I feel that I always felt the same way about my parents. Like, I'm just not going to, for one, I don't, my father is like, first of all, if I was bringing too many, he'd be like, what's going on? My father was not a no. But like, I knew the type of men that I felt like, and it really hasn't been too many that I brought around. I would say maybe 3.
Oh, I bring them. I bring them.
You just bring
But
them.
I be. They can meet them. It ain't nothing.
No.
They just like, oh hey, how you doing? Shaking hands, like okay, yeah.
Mm-mm.
But y'all know my history though. One
Right.
person I grew up with,
you cussing.
Yeah,
Right. I
so
forgot
it's like
they cuffing you up.
yeah, so you gonna see him. Yeah, but
and when I say bring them, this is different from like, maybe you might have picked me up from my parents or something like that, right? But I'm talking about I'm actually coming in, parents, this is someone I'm dating, meet this person.
Oh, I never did that either. Cause this is whoever it is. He's never has a title.
This is his
I
name.
forgot. You don't get no titles.
So that's probably what what y'all. This is an eye-opening like experience for me. I'm learning so much about myself.
You just be like,
this is him.
Oh, that's John.
Yeah. And it never you could be married. I never say yeah. So that's probably why I'm like, oh yeah, you can mean like we're all friends.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yo, so I'm learning so much about myself. This is crazy.
No, it's cool though. But I mean, that's the relationship that you have, right? And then and it works for you. But yeah, I don't bring a lot of no. I don't think you're not. A lot of people aren't ready for the parental units, is what I call them. They're not, because they're gonna be looking. This is even before I had my daughter. Like, they're gonna be looking like my mother is all about living life, doing your thing, living life, or whatever. But she would definitely pull my coattail if she felt like I was living too much life. And my father, like, my father and my stepfather as well, like, nah, he ain't it. He'll tell you straight up, it ain't him.
One thing, my daddy, I feel like my daddy, sometimes he'd be like, it's, he with the bro code sometimes. I'm like, what you think? He's like, I ain't gonna say, but when you find it out, when you'll see, he always like I feel like he had confidence in me that I would figure it out at some point. But I'm like, what do you think? Like, tell me what you think. Then he'd be like, use your words. He's like,
use your word. Oh no,
he'd be like, you'll see it, you'll see it. Like they've never like tell us, which way to go or
really?
Stay here. Go. Yeah, my dad and my mom, they like, you'll find, you gonna see it. You'll see it. I'm like,
no.
Good or bad? Like, they like,
He'll be like, he ain't it. But he'll let me do what I, do your thing. Right? But I'm just telling you, he ain't it. Of course, me, I'm young, I'm dumb. I'm like,
I love him.
I love him. You don't know him like I know him.
But yeah. Jess says, my dad didn't approve of any of my men, and he was right about all of them.
Oh,
okay. Jess, you need to make. I want to say something about you, Jess, but I'm not put your business out there.
No,
stepdaddy season is during tax return time. Really? So that is now. The time is now. Y'all. Look, y'all get with these women because they getting their taxes back, and y'all acting like y'all trying to take care of their kids. And the lead attorney say y'all have 6 kids. He gonna help you get your child support. I guess he gonna help you get the tax money too.
Hey, don't the tax money go to the back child support?
If they ain't paid, I guess so. That happened with COVID too, right?
Actually, let me say this real quick because some of y'all might not know this. So let me put y'all up on some game. Women, when you get with these men and they are in arrears in their child support, you might not be able to buy a house.
How? Why? Hold up. Oh, when you take on someone who's in arrears of. Oh, okay. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
yeah,
just
take note.
food for thought.
I thought you meant like if your child's father was in arrears, you couldn't get a house. But you're talking about if you marry someone that is in the arrears on their own child support, then you can't get a house.
And don't they take your passport too?
So
No,
that's for you dads. That doesn't cancel stepdaddy season. But that's for the women if you get with the men who haven't paid their child support.
Yeah. So
it's a little note.
Child support.
Stepdaddy season is still on.
So y'all heard it. Joy gave y'all a good tip. Just keep that in mind, when you're making these choices out here. He says, the common sense expert says, men don't have kids. We contribute to the process, but the choice is yours. Yeah, unfortunately, we all have to deal with the decisions. You have a choice in it before you even get that far. We already stop. Just don't even ask for the date. Don't even ask for, the after party or any of that. If you go home and be nice young men, you wouldn't have to be worried about these women deciding they're going to have your baby.
Nice, wholesome young man.
Yes, just go home, say good night. Kiss on the hand, go to bed. Sim says stepdaddy is when the sundresses come out.
Oh God, here they go with this sundress season.
It's on the way.
Okay.
Joyce, that's why I'm drinking my water. Make sure get the stomach right.
Y'all heard it here first. My sex is strong. Says, I agree, Sim. The stepdaddies be outside during sundress season. Tiffany says they at the extracurricular activities. That's why our girl Ty put you up on the AAU. Y'all
Tiffany, sis, AAU. Yes, they be at the karate
all day. It be all day.
The boxing.
Golden Glove over there.
Golden Glove.
I be in the car.
You need to get out the car and go into the
gym. They say, Ty, stop blasting stepfather hiding spots.
I'm just trying to put my ladies up on game. If you're listen, stay out to Chuck E. Cheese on Saturdays. Stay out. You'll be annoyed.
It's a fraud. It's a facade. It's not real.
Instead, use your Saturday mornings. Go to Spooky Nukes in Pennsylvania. If you an AAU basketball dad, I know you know that one. Go down to the Peach Jam in Georgia. I know y'all know that one. Where else? All of them places, you will find the available. Well, you'll find some that ain't available that think they're available, but they're not really available. But you'll find the stepdaddies because they're coaching, they're assistant coaching, they're bleacher coaching.
Yes,
they're there because they used to play back in the day, and they just trying to
standing up, hanging out with other dads.
They swear they should have gone to the league.
Okay,
yeah. The only reason they didn't go to the league is because they had that baby.
They sideline coaching, all of that. That is where they are. They got their little tracksuit on. They got their little got their Nike Vapor Max, on their little
the all black ones.
The all black ones. So they got their dad hat on. You know what I'm saying? They might got a little earring. Like little
they definitely standing up there with their arms folded up. Yeah,
and they could probably fight too.
They could fight. Yep. You know what I'm saying? They got like a little beard sometimes.
Arguing with the referees.
Yes, y'all heard during halftime they might pick a ball up and just shoot a shot just to see if they still got it.
Sometimes they hit them.
They hit them and they tell you like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because when they was,
back
when
in
they
my
went
day,
there.
We won back-to-back state championships when I was in high school. What you mean? Yeah, my son's shoe. He's small compared to how we was when we were growing up.
Yeah. Or during football season, they might, have to drop their keys out and put them on the ground real quick because they got to go out here and show them. Girl, I know it's stepdaddy when I see one.
Real Bravado Network. He says, I'm sorry, but if you're a black man in America, if you want a black woman, it's almost a certainty you will be a stepdad. Depends on how old you are. Depends how old you are, because I ain't no child.
And ain't nothing wrong with being a stepdaddy.
Yes, you're gonna have to pick the best situation. Yeah, the kids, no
And the same
kids.
thing for the women too, though, because I mean,
Yeah.
who wants thousands of dollars going out of their household because this man and got some woman pregnant that he
Okay.
decided he didn't want no more.
That he never wanted because he was just doing some common sense expert. You told us that last episode.
Right?
Men
Yeah,
always
the fat woman.
the ones that he's like, you ain't got to be into it to be
He
doing
was
that,
the fat
to
woman.
be doing it. So, common sense expert already put us up on that game.
He
We want to
did.
thank
He
you for
sure
that one.
did. My
Sim
sexy
said,
is strong. What she got? Is that the bar? She said, listen, summer bodies is made in the winter. You hear me?
okay. And guess what?
Joy, where
They up
your
in there.
water?
They in there too. Where she in the gym?
She in
They
the
up in
gym.
there.
They in the girl, they in the gym too.
Some of them got them goods though. Sim says women love a super dad. They do. They do. They like to
Yeah.
have their own super dad, let their children dad be super dad, stepdad be dad. Yes. My sexy strong said, my father's deceased and I wish he was alive because I know I would have avoided a lot of heartache and disappointment. Yes.
I understand.
Yes.
My father passed away as well, so I definitely feel her.
Yes, the common sense expert says the purpose of bringing the man you date around your father is for us to vet them ninjas out. Real fathers will sniff out F boys real fast. They will,
Yes,
but
they
are they going to tell you right away? Because some of them be like, I'm telling you. I'd be like, Dad, so what you think? He'd be like, like, what does that mean? You'll see it. They be like, I raised you well enough that you could see it. I'm like, but I don't trust myself right now. I'm not, I
Girl,
don't know if
mine
I'm
is
making it.
double.
Yeah, like, all right, go ahead on.
My stepfather told me
Doug,
shit.
he's our top mod over
That's
here, Doug
right.
MPA. He says, like the video, guys. He always comes in reminding us
I
to tell y'all
know.
to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get these ladies to 100% engagement. Thank you, Doug. You're always bringing the energy, telling these people how they need to be over here at the My Unsolicited Opinion podcast. Y'all
Mhm.
like it up,
Hey,
guys.
Doug.
Yes, hey, Doug. Welcome. Glad you got a chance to make it up in here. You know we need you giving us the stats. Right now with Doug, let's get you caught up. So we're talking about how many what? How many kids is too
How?
many kids?
Mm-hmm.
And
When
we
you're
kind of
dating.
when you're dating. And we kind of thought about broke it down to the next level or narrowed it down to how many mothers or fathers are involved with these kids. So like Chili said she will only date a guy, Chili from TLC, she will only date a guy who had if they had 3 or less baby mamas. So Floyd Mayweather got 5 kids and but it's by 3 women. He barely made the cut. But if it's 4 women or 5 women and 5 kids, that's just too many. So we kind of narrowed it down to that. But we need the stats. We need you to hit us with the stats of how many what I don't know if they probably not like keeping no kind of stats on that, like how many women, how many baby daddies people got, how many baby mamas,
Oh,
like
I don't
how
know.
they not being honest about that. I already know. It's like
If they
I got
are, if they are, Doug will know. And
yes,
he
let
will
us
come
know,
back with
Doug.
it. So that's for
Let us
sure.
know.
But
So
Celeste,
let's
you in the DMV? What you know about the running shoe? I'm telling
up,
y'all.
up,
That
up, up,
you.
up. You gotta work on your jumpers. They gotta act like you trying to show us how to shoot a layup. Oh, yeah, I played ball my whole life. Doug says, let's get these ladies to 1,000
Yeah,
subs.
girl.
Come on, y'all. Come on. Y'all hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all the ding, ding, ding notification button so you know the next time we're shooting a video. But we got a schedule, y'all. And we've been on it.
We
I'm
have.
really
We
proud
have
of
been
us.
on it.
Actually,
I haven't been like
yeah.
this consistent on my own channel, but we
Right.
have been
Me
consistent
neither.
every
Right.
Wednesday and Saturday so far. We have been here since we started. Y'all need to give us a round of applause. Put a fire emoji in the chat if we are lit, okay? So yes, get us to 1,000 subscribers. We're gonna
And
start
I
there. We're
want to
gonna
say
go
something
up.
too. Like, shout out to the mastermind. Like, we love the support.
Yes,
Like,
Man.
we try to
yes. Thank
support each
y'all.
other. If you all are not a part of the mastermind that the lead attorney has, he had massive growth on his channel, and so he brought a group of
Yes.
people together to try to encourage us and give us the tools and techniques so we can grow our own channels. And this podcast was actually born out of that. And so we
Mhm.
do peruse around to each other's channels and drop a couple dollars here and there. And just genuinely support each other, like not going in to try to like,
Be malicious.
belittle anybody or condemn anybody or be mean and nasty. We're all very, light about, whatever it is that we're talking about. So, I appreciate the people that do that.
I'm not to go off on a tangent about the mastermind, but to go off on a tangent about the mastermind. One of the things that I like about TLA's masterminds is so many different content creators in there, right? And they all come from different spaces across YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And whether or not I agree with their position on something, or or if I agree, I always allow them the space. I see them as a content creator. So I'm in, sometimes it'll be something I don't agree with, but I will say, you know what, but that was a good video. Like, you did some like that. You did some good editing on that video, right? And I think you can make it better if you do this and this and this, because I've looked at people, in your space, and this is some of the stuff that they've done, right? And I think that's the difference. And even if I go to their, their channel, and they could be talking about kill all the single baby mamas out there, right?
Oh Lord.
Okay. I don't go to those spaces, but I'm just saying,
Right.
If I I will still be, like respectful to their art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
Sure.
it's the, your content and your opinions and stuff like that. We kind of like leave them at the door. Every now and then, we're human, right? Every now and then, we're gonna have a little comment on, he or she says something that you just don't agree with, but you allow that person to create their art, and you don't, have to.
Speaking of the mastermind.
Shout out to y'all. We appreciate y'all coming through. Love y'all.
Yes. Y'all to bring him up? Let's bring him up. He's our guy. He's some Saya.
Yes, hold on. Let me get it off your face here.
Whatever you like. Welcome.
Whatever you like.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Good.
He canned up tonight, y'all.
Yeah, I'm not in the streets today. I'm not.
Whatever music you like.
Mm-hmm.
How y'all doing? So
All right.
I'm enjoying the conversation. It's interesting.
Yeah, Sim, how do you feel about, let me ask you a question. What's your limit of kids when it comes, first of all, are you in a position to date at the moment? Are you a dating man?
Yeah, I'm doing.
Okay, I don't know if you're married, single, date. I'm sorry, maybe I worded that wrong, or I worded it crazy. My bad.
Yeah, I'm doing interviews right now. Kind of.
Okay, so as these interviews, as these young women submit their resumes, what is what is too many as far as the kids department? Is like how do you weed that out?
Yeah, she can't have more children than I have.
Okay.
Because if she has more children than I have, and let's say, for instance, maybe I don't have my child every single week or every single weekend. Well, let's say I have my child every other weekend, right? And we're dating and we're living together, then that means that my resources are going to be contributing more towards her children than my own child,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so it's a little bit backwards. And then, I think that it just really depends on the idea of a father that you have in mind. If your idea of being a father is you being active on a day-to-day basis with your child, it makes it difficult for you to have that relationship with someone else's children, but to not have that with your own child. So it's tricky in that sense. And so even one child is really, a challenge, because you still have to deal with that dichotomy that your child is there every other weekend, her child might be there every weekend. So in the dating process, I think that's where you start asking questions about, like, do you guys have a parenting agreement in place? Then you can start understanding whether or not the father is having an opportunity to be engaged, and maybe he can share some of your he can share in your plight as a father, and then you can connect from that standpoint. But yeah, from a personal standpoint, I just don't see myself being involved with someone who has more children than I have myself, and I just have one.
That's it. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say, so you will accept a child, or you prefer no kids, do you? Or what's your What's your preference?
Yeah, I think that
One or none?
yeah, one or none. I think it really just goes back to really understanding like her mentality. You know, if she has one child, is she seeing value in the father being present, or is she doing everything for him not to be involved, while at the same time asking other people to serve as father figures to her children? You know, so I think that is challenging whenever you have that sort of dichotomy, because now you're looking at it and you can have an opportunity to really assess her. It's like, okay, if she's treating him like this, then it's only a matter of time before you find yourself in that same exact boat, you know.
Yeah.
I think and that was what I was going to bring up just a few minutes ago, is watching how the other person treats the mother or father of their kids, right? It will say a lot. And I've seen this on both sides. Men and women will bash, the other parent. And I'm just, and in my mind, I'm just like, okay, some of it is very well justified, right? Some of it is just defied. But when you come with a lot of that baggage, like to like the first date, like, yeah, I don't really like my baby mama like that, because she don't let me see this and that. It is a turn off. And I'm almost like, baby, that's between y'all two. Like, you don't you know what I mean? Like, you don't gotta bring that here. We just going to get McDonald's. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it says a lot about the person, right? I feel like we can maneuver in these spaces, co-parenting spaces. But when you deal with the next person, you don't necessarily want to come and be bashing the last one, because people will see themselves in that, they be like, well, shoot, if you talk about him like that, and y'all blood related, right? Kids, that's what I'm talking about, not incest. But that's like family. You talking about him like that, what you gonna do? Or you talking about her like that, what you gonna do when I tell you, yeah, no.
To your point too, I think and I have observed this with my child. Sometimes kids, they don't understand how situations became where they are currently. And my son's dad has a fiance that has her own child, and then he has another biological child with another woman. And my baby is here with me, right? So he won't ever come out and actually tell me, but I know he feels some type of way that like his dad is spending more time with somebody else's child, than him, for sure. So I can completely see where you're coming from when you start talking about like, is it equal? Am I giving more time and resources to somebody else's child versus my own?
Yeah,
because it just naturally is. It's going to happen.
Yeah. I think it's unfortunate, but that's how it is though. If you're in the household with them, they get more time. Like even with second marriages, second set of kids, our daddy was at home with us. I might say some mess like he was in and out all day long, why you don't worry, but they don't, they like, well, he was there though, so it's sad and it's tough on the kids. And we all need to just work on making better decisions. And I really almost got triggered from video with TLA and that lady earlier, because she was like, just choose better, just do this better. And it's like, I mean, are people really out here just being reckless and irresponsible like that? I mean, I know Doug giving us the stats. They are being that reckless, like that reckless to the point where it's like, we got to tell these people, look, don't do this or that. Like, don't have more kids.
Yeah.
Yes, people are. They are that reckless and that irresponsible, male and female. Nobody cares about the family structure anymore. It means nothing. It's like it's an afterthought, and it's sad. Like I'm a what they call a geriatric millennial. So like the first 5 years of whatever. So we are geriatric. Melinda, I ain't gonna just put myself. Us.
Speak for yourself, girl.
Ty said she wasn't in it though. I heard her
What
earlier
the-
being shady.
Ty's in it.
Ty said that's y'all.
And we
My name is Bennett, baby.
A quick shout out, y'all.
Before
I'm
they
playing.
come
I'm
on
playing.
geriatric too. So yeah, I mean, the generation before us cared a lot more about families and family structure. That started to get to a little bit of a gray area, and now it's a shit show.
Oh, yeah. Let's take a moment to shout out our Cash Apps tonight. Thank you so far to the Real Bravado Network with the $15 Cash App. Hit us on the
Thank
Cash App,
you.
y'all. We want y'all to, we're soliciting your opinions as well as your offerings in the chat. I also want to shout out Maggie, the substitute teacher.
Maggie.
Both of these guys are a part of our mastermind, and we want to thank y'all for coming through to support us on the channel and everybody else that's here with from the mastermind. Sim, he's up here. You want to tell us about your channel while you're here, Sim? But thank you guys so much.
Thank
for the
you, Maggie and TJ.
Cash Apps. Thank
The
y'all.
Real Bravado Network.
Thank you. Yes, they sent us all something. Thank you. Shout out to both of them. They are content creators. So go check them out.
So tell us about your channel while you're up here. You want to talk about this?
My channel is a personal finance channel, and essentially I talk about.
It's an echo.
Shouldn't it's not on my side.
You hear echo?
I was hearing it too.
You still hear it? Go ahead again, Sim.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Echo.
There's an echo.
It's still an echo?
Yes. Y'all mute your mics.
I can hear you.
All right. So yeah, my channel is a personal finance channel. Essentially, it's the FIRE approach to personal finance. That's financial independence, retire early. That's essentially doing everything you can to maximize your tax advantage accounts or the retirement investing opportunities at a younger age with lower income, with the idea in mind that you're going to put yourself in position to be able to retire going into the future. So if things like that are interesting to you, that's what we're talking about on that channel. We'll talk about a little bit of popular culture. Essentially, it's just really just focusing on putting ourselves in position to be able to retire early, and to retire really in a dignified manner without focusing on 65 and 70 as the retirement age.
Yes.
Now, so what's that mean, Sim? So, when when a young lady wants to come out on a date with you, what's your date looking like? You're saying, be a little bit, what is it? FIRE stands for financially independent, retire early, right? That means you saving some coin there so that you can get to the bigger piece of the pie, right? So what's the first date look like?
Well, it's just a fire bay, so I mean it just really just depends, like y'all got jokes. I heard y'all taking a jab at me on the last two shows.
Never.
Listen, the ladies I date are women that stay fit, so we do hiking, we do art museums, like anything creative. So it's just really interesting. Like the mindset that we have is just heavy on the consumerism from a consumer standpoint. But I just say that you just create creative ways for you to date that are not always just money intense. I see a lot of people with steakhouses and Fogo, all that stuff, and a lot of people are not even worth all that. Like they might not talk to you after the first date. So
we didn't take a jab at you, Sim. All of us here said that we would if we were into a guy and he said let's hop over to McDonald's, we go over to McDonald's.
Listen,
if you say we're going on a hike with our pecans and our trail mix and stuff, we'll eat.
We going. We going.
The shade. Listen, NAllen, I heard you. NAllen, I heard you.
I will go on a hike. I've been on a hike actually, and it's kind of dangerous.
How long can you
going
hike?
out in these woods?
You 5'3", right?
People.
Are you fit? Are you fit, NAllen?
Yeah, I played sports my whole life, and I I stand up 8 hours a day every day.
She is fit, feminine, and friendly.
Listen, okay. Listen,
I got another F though, feisty, and I don't care.
Feisty.
That too.
I don't even believe it.
It's that red lipstick, y'all. She acting up
Okay,
today.
you better
That
Listen.
red
feminine, friendly, and
lipstick.
feisty.
Listen, I mean, I like to see the young ladies, being out there sweating, get to see
Not the
her.
lace fronts.
Listen, all of that,
Coming
all
off.
of that.
They
Lace
coming
fronts.
off.
I want to see how humble she is. Can she eat the trail mix with me and
Yeah.
coconut water? I have some papayas for her,
But I couldn't eat
watermelon.
at McDonald's. Okay.
Nah, no McDonald's. But listen, I mean, like being able to see like the beauty in nature.
Mm-hmm.
We overlook the summit, look at the sky, and then just sit out there and just say, this is what life is about.
I
Now,
think
what if
that's
she
beautiful.
what if she a little plump and she can't get up that mountain with you? Is it all bets are off?
Well, she's not coming with me. She can't handle that height. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, he don't do
yeah.
plump.
You hazing people?
Nah, I mean, if
You
she
get up to
can't,
the top, maybe a probate, like you are mine. Like what?
I mean, the women I'm interested in, they enjoy hiking. You know what I mean? So that's the
Yeah.
thing, and it makes it easier when someone enjoys hiking. You don't have to convince them. I don't know about you, Joy, and I hear a lot of people talking about Crowder Mountain. I haven't been down there to check it out, but I go to Hanging Rock. You been to Hanging Rock before, Joy?
No, I'm not a hiker
Look at that. See?
or a biker.
Look at that. See?
Don't judge her though.
I'm
Don't
not
judge
judging
her.
her, but tell me how you stay physical. What's your favorite physical activity?
Boy, it's always a test on this channel.
Sis,
How
don't
stay
let him do
physical?
you because go ahead.
What's your favorite meal to cook? It's always a test. These men
I said
always
physical
testing us.
activity.
But sis, didn't you just walk the other day to
I was on
remember?
the treadmill before we got on here. I'm trying to tell you.
See?
Listen, let me explain something, and I mean this, like for real. Like appearance is very important to me. For me, right?
Mhm.
I was like, I can't be looking effed up in my 40s. Like, what we not gonna do. So I've never been a person that had to work out. I've always been on a thinner side and all of the things. Like I've never been somebody be like, oh, I gotta lose 40 pounds. Like nothing like that. That's never been me. So because I had always naturally been thin, I just didn't feel the need to do that. Like I never understood why people enjoy gasping for air. Like that ain't fun to me. I don't understand. Like I like
Listen,
my respiratory system to go smoothly. So
listen. I
it
mean,
wasn't for me.
but cardio is good for you. Then
Yes,
you'll be
is.
in position
I'm
when
not
you really
disagreeing
need
with
it.
that. No, you're a thousand. Now, when I was in school, I was in a band. I was a dancer. I was a cheerleader. All of the girly things. I was a girly girl. Like I wasn't doing no volleyball and what else they play? What girls play? Basketball.
Hold on now. I play basketball,
What
I
else?
baby.
did
I
too.
was. That was too physical. No, I was like.
And Allen, you go hiking too?
I don't go hiking. I've been hiking. I'm not a hiker, but I
Y'all
will
miss-
go
y'all
outside.
miss-
I'm from the country. I'm from outside.
Y'all are missing out. Y'all are missing out. So I think that like hiking groups, like meetup groups, in my opinion, are actually the best place to meet people. I think Ty was talking about that, right? So meetup groups. So I'm a part of like black hiking groups, and then we just go out.
They sound
in
like they just
nature.
hooking up though.
I mean,
They don't
what
sound like
I'm
they-
saying is
So it
at
sounds like
least
they don't got no kids.
at least you have a common interest, right? And then
Yeah.
Yeah,
generally
but y'all
speaking,
just hooking up though. That's hooking up. That's not anything long term. And I don't want to say who else about these travelers. Those kind of people, they hooking up. They ain't trying to find a long term deal.
and
Y'all
Allen,
going
No,
out, y'all
he's
bike
talking
trails,
about
hiking trails, meetup groups, meeting up, hooking up.
No, it don't be like that.
it's like
Yeah, I better go to
common
them gyms
interest.
and the
It's like
AAU games. You got a better chance of finding something serious if that's what you're looking for. But you going to these motorcycle clubs, bike riding clubs, hiking clubs, you just finna get a one night stand.
All you want from me is a one night stand. No,
And look at Sim. He was out last weekend. It was so late. He came on here talking crazy. And now he back on here still passing
wasn't
out
talking
resumes
crazy.
saying come to these hiking trails.
I was with
Sis,
one,
I will
I
say
was with
this.
one of my groups last week too.
You were
Which one?
It was one of my meetup groups. So like I'm a part of like a black socialite group. So we do activities. And so like it's different activities. Like tomorrow we're doing a Super Bowl party. So there are all kinds of different things. Like if you stay in the area with like a bunch of professionals, it's an ideal situation because it allows you to meet people that you wouldn't otherwise meet. Like if you were dating, and it makes it a
Urban
little
young
bit less
professionals,
formal.
them groups, they got them in all of the major cities.
But look though, honestly though, I know why you say that. I know why you say that, but I will tell you, like those are like really, really like the meetups. They're really good ways for people to like meet other people.
Yeah,
I'm serious. Not to
I
like
believe
hook
it.
up, not to, but I'm saying like, listen, I can attest to it. Look, she like, you just trying to.
You see, she co-signed it. Now we need to get Joy on board. You know, she's down there in the Queen City. You got to get her out there at Crowder Mountain. You know, meet your boo out there.
I'll meet y'all when y'all get down to the bottom.
I'll be right here.
I'll be right
with
here
your
waiting,
trail
baby.
mix.
Yes, I'll be right here waiting. I'll be your support. I'm here to support. I'm gonna cheer you on. I'm gonna be there to emotionally support you in all that
Pass
you
out
do.
the snacks and the water bottles.
I got your.
I drank some water.
Got it.
Yeah, but the trail mix though is good because you don't
electrolytes, all of that.
You don't really want to eat a lot of food while you're out there in the woods, you know. So I mean, it curbs your appetite, and it also allows you to have energy for you to do your hikes. But I'm not gonna lie, like one of the best dates that I've had was on a hike. And like an all day hike. You know, I saw Ty being shady a couple of times too, talking about my all day 5 mile hike and feeding you trail
You
mix.
said it was an all day 5 mile hike.
Y'all are so shady. Listen. She told me that it was the best date she's ever been on. I told you I massaged her feet when I saw
How
that.
many days have y'all gone on since?
We were involved for a little bit, you know. She's still digging the kid. So I only deal with women that are into hiking. That's it.
Okay.
That's cool, Sim. I'm glad. But that is not what you told us 3 months ago. You was like, I said, did you talk to her today? You was like, did I talk to her today? You couldn't even tell. This lady hiked 5 miles up the steepest hill you could find where you're at. She had blisters
like a reality
on her
show.
feet, and at the top of the hill, you gave this lady some trail mix and said, all right, let's go.
Listen, I had all the snacks. I had it all figured out.
You did.
And I even massaged her feet out there. You know, she appreciated it. You know what I mean? So I'm here for it.
No, that was nice.
Now, if she's not into it and she's out there complaining, then that kind of lets you know. But a
now,
lot
have
of
you
people.
Been married before?
I have, but I mean that doesn't.
You have been married? Okay.
Yeah.
No, it was nice. I know that was nice for like people who like to hike and things. I think that you said she enjoyed it because you confirmed with us. You were like, she said she enjoyed it. She had a good time. So
the best date she's ever been on time.
Right.
Ever. Y'all should try it. Joy, you should try it. She's missing out. Outdoor Afro, you know, they're not.
Joy says she drink
Outdoor Afro Charlotte. They do it down there too.
Do y'all have gathering? I know y'all got a gathering spot in Charlotte, don't y'all, Joy?
We don't have a physical one, so they just started having members like over the summer. But it's not a physical location. They said we would have access to all of the other locations in the United States, and I was like,
"Girl, come on up to the DMV. You ever been to the gathering spot? It's like a private
social club for Black people,
and that's not a social club
like
in that. Yeah, but it's the building. Like you can gain membership and stuff like that. So when I just want to make sure people don't think it's like some type of like group, if that makes sense.
No. Yeah.
So this is the actual building, like place where you can go and get membership for professional, Black people. I mean, when you'll see why I say professional when you see the membership prices, and then you can go there. People meet up there after work for like drinks. Some people work out of there as like I don't know, all kind of spots.
Co-working space.
Yeah, co-working space. That's what I wanted to say. People throw parties there. It's just like a big space. It's a nice, at least the one here in DC is really nice. I went to a couple like retirement parties there for a couple of NFL players. So like it's I don't know what it looks like, what it will look like down there, but if it's anything like it is here in the DMV, I love it. I like it.
Yeah, I think the biggest breakdown is a lot of people are busy with their professions, and so as far as dating goes, I think like the apps, they get old, and then if you have an opportunity to meet someone in person, they're usually busy, so it's an opportunity for you to meet someone and then see if you guys align as far as interest goes, and then you just go from there. But for me, the meetup groups serve a better purpose than any of the apps because it's less formal and it allows people to kind of be in the natural element. But there are a lot of people who are really awkward and like introverts, and so they're not really interested in dating the formal way, but they just want to be around people who are like-minded, who also have something to lose. So
networking, that's what I call it. Networking. Whoo.
Yeah. I wanted to say one thing though, in reference to the comment that I put in there. So do you all think that I understand that you all are saying that Nick Cannon and Kiki Wyatt, they are outliers, right? But do you all think that we're having enough children in order for us to have like representation from a population standpoint with all these people who are opting to have like this travel lifestyle and to not really prioritize families? Do you all think that the long-term ramifications of us not really prioritizing families, do you think that that's going to benefit us from a population standpoint?
You're referencing the birth rate going down?
Yeah, I mean, because everybody's like, everybody's the globetrotter, you let Instagram tell it, and they're not prioritizing having families. And so Joy was saying that people are not prioritizing families because they don't see it as valuable. I say that people are probably a lot more visible as far as like what they're doing with the Facebooks and Instagrams. Now people, they know about the family they have across town as opposed to dad having a family across town and nobody knew about it. So now people are saying, hey, if you have anyone else besides me, it's not going to happen. Whereas moms in the past were saying, hey, just don't bring those children over here. You go see them over there and then you deal with us,
Now you said as far as the population is concerned, are you meaning like the percentage of African Americans?
Yeah, I mean, we don't.
I've known the minority population has a trajectory to overtake the white population like in the next 50 years.
Minority who though?
I don't know the exact breakout, but Hispanic, I assume Black, that swath.
The Hispanic community is surpassing.
I do know their home ownership rate is higher, so I can see how that could be true.
Yeah, I'd say that that's something we should consider, like the idea that people are having like these oops babies and everything like that. They're contributing towards the population, but then there's people who are really like fully thinking out like the whole idea of having children. And I think that also contributes to us not having as many children because we're trying to rationalize, okay, we can't have children irresponsibly. We need to make sure that we're doing it in the right manner. And I think that ultimately we're just going to end up having like a smaller population size in general.
I think every generation has a different mindset about it. The generation coming up, they may have a shift. Like clearly they're getting money from somewhere. It may not be like the way that we, had like back in the day, you have one job for 30 years. Our generation, it's like you kind of job hop a little bit. This new generation, they just kind of like, I'm gonna get it how I get it. Like, they're gonna have all these different side gigs and everything. They're gonna have plenty of money. So that they may have different thought pattern about it as they get into adulthood.
Yeah, that was it. I'll go ahead. I just wanted to make sure that I spoke on that because I think that like all of you said that you all have one child, and I also have one child. But in my mind, I don't think one child is enough for me, just from an African standpoint. But beyond that, you know, it's just like there's a lot of people who either have no children or maybe just one child, and the population size in general just ends up being smaller with those ideas in mind compared to people having a family of 5 or family of 6 or what have you, like they did in the past.
It's expensive too. So I mean, we got to factor like. I hear what you're saying. I totally understand and receive your point, but I mean, it costs a lot of money to raise even just one child. So would you prefer people multiply without having the appropriate systems in place to be able to care for those children?
I'm saying that we're prioritizing lifestyle now more than we ever did before, you know? So people,
but even if you live a cheap lifestyle, it's expensive.
I'm not saying it's not, but I'm thinking that you can figure out ways to cooperate with one another. And so there are ways to make things work. If the Hispanic community, who are generally doing blue collar work, are capable of having families without really missing out in a whole lot as far as the family structure, like why can't we make it work? You know, like
can we? I want to go back to the men not marrying the women. Because the Hispanic people, they're still, y'all, we keep hearing these, okay, well, this guy's standing out in front of Home Depot and this lady, she's a cleaning lady. They're still together. They're married. They're having 2 and 3 and however many kids. We're not getting married. We're leaving here, going somewhere else looking for women. We're not being with each other.
But there's also like the lifestyle thing. Like I've had plenty of women who said that I'm not going to date you unless you're like at this level, you know?
And there are also plenty of women who are waiting around for men that they've been with for years, probably gave them one child already, and they're not going to marry them. And they make a decision to not have any more kids with them. Or they go ahead and break it off and they're like, oh, well, these women, they want to be, you know, rich aunties. These women want to be into their careers. They don't have anything else to do because the men are not marrying them. Like, and we don't want to keep continuing on with the baby mama culture. So we're not the only ones that need to figure it out. Like the men have to marry. Some of the women it's good women out here. So y'all saying because you in these clubs, you're a working man, you run to women all the time, I'm sure, in all kinds of places, you know, but you still, some of them are still not settling down after they're meeting all these women. They go through college, you know, they finally into their careers. They're making the money. Because I can only speak for myself. I meet people all the time who are making good money, but they are like, well, I don't want to be with her because of some petty reason, or they're not marrying the girl that they've been stringing along since they were freshmen in college, you know. And I would think that more women, if they were in relationships, you know, something that they could feel secure in for the most part, not the outliers that I'm just not happy and I'm not going to be here, because most of the time women are not making these decisions. And that's another thing that's kind of driving me. We keep hearing about, but these women, they just leaving these marriages or they're running out of these relationships because they're just not happy. That's a bunch of BS and everybody knows it. The men are not being in the relationships because the men are making the decisions on if we are together or not, because you have to ask a man, what are we doing? What they say, we're dragging the men down the aisle by the nostrils. That means the men are in control of that situation. I'm pretty sure, I don't know the stats again, if these men are marrying these women, they will have these kids for them. Then there's the population situation, you know, halfway resolved.
Now,
but
okay.
to just be like, these women are trying to be, you know, living a life of luxury and childless and just fancy free. That's not even fair. That's not fair. Let's talk about like the Hispanics, they getting married to each other, broke or whatever. The black men acting like they got to be making $1 million. They act like we act like they have to be making $1 million. When we know at the end of the day, they still like not getting married.
Well, I mean, if we're being honest, I mean, it's been a collaborative effort to break down the family structure, right? Now, like a lot of women opted, and we can look at videos from the past where women opted to not be with the man because they were with the government, you know? And so like it's been a systemic thing. And so I don't think that men are specifically saying that.
Whoa, hold on. I'm sorry. We can look at videos where women opted to be with the man because they were with what? The man was
To
with the
not be
government.
with the man, so
They
they can get
opted
the
to
government
not be
assistance.
with the man
Because
because they were with the government.
oh, you're gonna have
Like,
to send that video to me.
so let's think about it, right? Let's think about it, right? If the welfare system, right? If the welfare system did not exist, right? How much of the rationale would change as far as family dynamics, right?
Sam, don't not tonight.
But
But
I'm just saying.
listen to me. I will tell you like this. I don't know a woman that will choose to have a consistent husband, father that makes money to support the family that he created. I don't know a woman that will choose government cheese, powdered milk, peanut butter out the can, and whatever else comes with being on welfare, because y'all always talk about the 70s, right? And that's what it looked like back then. I don't know a woman that will choose that over a good man in her household providing. It does not make sense. Now, are there some women that maybe, but not y'all, not you, but it's talked about like it is this swath of Black women who said, you know what? This good man who has a job and has what you said, Joy, they were working 30 years back then of the same job to get the pension. This good man works in the factory. He has a good job. He comes home. He takes care of his kids. He takes care of his kids. He does that. I don't want him no more because I'd rather go over here and sign up for block cheese, like powdered milk, peanut butter in the can. Like I'd rather have that because that's consistent. Because I can get that. Listen now. Let's not come with the tropes over here. Right. Because it just don't make
I sat up here, Ty. I sat up here and said that it's a collaborative effort. I didn't say it was.
And I agree with you on that. It is men and women.
Let's hear the man's side. Let's hear the man's side.
I did not say it was.
Oh, you said collaborative. I thought you said it was collaborative effort between the men and women that.
You said between the government and the women.
Between the government and their primary agenda to make sure that this specific community is broken down, right?
Well, but what role do the men play in that?
Well, the men fall victim. They fall victim to the bait that they actually presented to them. You know, we could talk about the war on drugs. We could talk about about feminism. We could talk about the crack epidemic. I mean, we could really just go on and on. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that the women are the reason those things existed. I'm saying that whenever those things are put into your community, right, and the only way you can feed your family is through crack, right, then you're going to fall victim to that because now you're trying to feed your family on something that's destroying your family and is contributing towards the breakdown of both the men and women, because you have people who are strung out on drugs. They're not able to take care of their children. And then there are also people who are going to jail doing the mandatory minimums. And so it's a collaborative effort from a government standpoint. I'm not saying it's women to blame. Okay. What I'm saying is that certain people had an opportunity to benefit as a result of them not having that man involved in their life, you know. So they would say, I don't want him in my life because he's a good for nothing, but I have the government who's going to give me welfare, who's going to put me on Section 8 or what have you, as a supplement for him not being there. So I'm not saying that women are the reason why those things existed. Okay. I'm saying that
and you're not saying it's an active choice.
No,
you're not saying that it's a choice that's being made.
I'm saying that they ultimately end up choosing not to have the man there because they have the option for them to have someone else take care of it.
So you are saying that they're choosing welfare.
Well, there's video evidence of women saying it out of their mouth. That's what I'm trying to say.
Saying, well, I don't want the man here to take care of the house.
Saying that I don't want him here. He's no good.
What? That's what I'm saying. Choosing over what?
Choosing not to be with him because they have an opportunity for the government to take care of them.
Because
what is him? What is he doing?
What is him?
He's falling victim to all the baits that are out there.
He's on crack.
He's on crack. He could be selling it. he
Because
could
you keep
be.
saying that's what's the,
Not in
let's go ahead and get down to
2022.
it. Let's get down to
You
it
smoke
because
crack,
you
don't you?
yes, it's like that's what let's get down to it because you keep saying like he's falling victim. He's this, he's
I'm
that.
talking about back.
She's
I'm talking. I
choosing.
said back
Uh,
then. I said back then.
okay, either way, men and
I'm
women were on drugs. Okay.
I'm saying
Men
back
and women were
then.
on drugs.
Well,
Don't say that. Don't act like a woman. The way you're presenting it, Sim, and you know what you're doing. Did you present it in such a way like this woman has a perfectly healthy man over here who is falling victim to whatever,
okay.
and he's choosing with her
But
whatever self
I will
to
concede this.
do this or that.
I will concede this. There were a lot of factors. I will concede this. War, Vietnam War. Yes, the crack epidemic, the mass incarcerations, and all of that contributed to the lack of black men in the home.
Black people couldn't even buy houses in 1950s. You know.
No,
We
and
understand.
I'm very well aware of redlining and everything. So I will concede that those are all factors, and they all came together in like this perfect storm of mess, right? But what I'm saying is, we have all of us here have the luxury of information, especially with the internet, right? And we can actually, but we have to sift through the information, and we can actually like go back and try to get to the genesis of how we got here. And I do. I mean, you know how people say like, well, why they act like that? Cause slavery, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's everything go back to that. But what I'm saying is, you know, instead of talking about solutions, we always like do the blame game. And I'm not, you know, when you said that we can go and look at videos of women choosing, you know, the government over a man, but when we get deep into it, we're saying, oh, a man who was like a crackhead, or a man who was locked up, or a man that felt, you know, that may have, you know, passed away, or whatever have you. I just don't know of women who choose being on welfare over a good man that provides for his family in the home. I just don't know. And then I sat here and I listened to a red pill content creator that said in his live that he sat in the house with the mother of his 3 kids that he is not married to and watched her get welfare. And I was just like, no, not you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so it's things like that. But that's today. I'm talking about yesterday. Are there women out there that, you know, have kids intentionally to get government assistance? Maybe. I don't know. I don't frequent those. That's not my circle of women. I'm not saying it's impossible. But when we talk about the vast majority, when we talk about the inception of welfare, the good deal, and, you know, say black women took the good deal and left the black man out, I think it's disingenuous if we don't really get into the meat of what was happening. A lot of it was racism. A lot of it was a whole hell of a lot of it was racism that we all fallen victim to. But we fall down, but we get up. Can I say that?
Yeah. Well, so are we saying that? So this goes back to what I was saying before, right? So it's a collaborative effort in this from the standpoint that there's a bunch of different factors that play into it, right? What I'm saying is when we can have the housekeeper and the guy who's standing out at Home Depot, who's doing construction, or someone who's working on the job sites, building houses or what have you, and his wife is sitting there not making a whole lot of money, but they have a way of being able to have children. What are we saying that they're doing different that's not happening with people who have access to better opportunities as far as work, right? Because we can't say like I understand what you all are saying. I've sat up here and spoken to women who said that they prioritize their careers over family. So are we saying that people have not prioritized their careers before they chose to have families?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we need to stop like saying things like the man has fallen victim. We always saying the man has fallen victim, and this big bad black woman is choosing the government and the free giveaways over this healthy man. Where we could say like, okay, there was some point of weaknesses, with everybody, and we all, like you said, we're all a part of it. Yeah, I don't know why people don't want to consider the fact that black women do experience racism as well. As far as all of it, we get the same thing. Sorry. I know we're not equal and I'm not a feminist, but that's just been my experience and that's all I can talk about. But the difference between the Hispanic a man and a woman is they're together. They're together. They are together. That's the difference between us and everybody else. They're together. We are not together. It's a whole campaign on social media about, divide and conquer. Like we are falling victim to that, 100 years back, 100 years moving forward, divide and conquer. And that's the point that we're at. The black man, the black woman, is divide and conquer, and we are not together. That's the difference. If we were together on any page besides trying to bash each other, then we probably could be working, just trying to get by, scraping it up, doing it together. But we're not together. We're too busy still, trying to blame each other when it's like a bigger power and systemics, racism, and everything else has been going on. But we're trying to figure out how this person can fall victim, how this woman is too masculine. It's like these conversations, they get old. If we would be together, like I said, these men are not marrying the women. Y'all want to say the women are career driven. I mean, what else are the women going to do? What are they going to be doing if you are not marrying them? If you're not marrying them to lead them, cover them, whatever is supposed to be going on with them, what else are they supposed to be doing?
So, and I'll add something. I'm sorry, real quick. I want to add this. At the end of the day, regardless of all that everybody said, you as an individual have to have individual responsibility for decisions that you make. And for whatever reason, it is socially acceptable for a lot of the things that you are talking about to take place. If a lot of these things were not socially acceptable, they wouldn't happen, which is why you have the girl jumping in front of the line to have Nick Cannon's next baby, which is why you have somebody at Future Hotel Room done went through 50 other girls at the door, and she was the boldest of them all to be able to figure out a way to have his next child. These are things that on both the man's side and the woman's side, you got nothing to do with what happened in 1950. It has everything to do right now. What you prioritize, what you find to be attractive and socially acceptable today.
Yeah, but Future doesn't represent like the average blue collar guy out here,
It's a lot of average blue collar guys that have multiple children. They might not have 10, but they have multiple.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I only have one child because that's what I can afford, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of men though that and a lot of women. Like it's not a either or, it's a both. It is socially acceptable to have these multiple kids with multiple people and tell everybody about it. Just 50 years ago, you better not tell nobody. You better make up a last name. It's people in my family right now. Well, I went to a funeral last week of a cousin of mine, and I literally found out that her daddy ain't her dad. I was like, I had no idea. It was a thing. They didn't talk about it. They don't worry about it. I'm married to this man right here. And that's all it needed to be. It wasn't prominent. It wasn't okay. Like the audacity of this woman. I don't know if you were in the chat earlier. The audacity that Ari is sitting here saying you want to have 2 more kids, knowing this man got 8 and multiple baby mamas. you gonna have 2 more babies when if I get fat and pregnant, you gonna cheat on me. Like what? Those things are the core issues that we're having today. Not all of the things that happened when we had, redlining and all of those things. We're talking about what is socially acceptable now, and the fact that we're getting farther and farther away from these guardrails in society that keep people on a particular path, and now it is a free for all to behave in any type of way, to speak in any type of way, to accept anything. Because if you try to correct somebody, particularly in the Black community, you wrong. You gonna be a lone voice trying to say, hey, these behaviors are probably not the best decisions to make. Don't be telling her you can't make. It's like, no, it's a place for shame in society. And a lot of the things that we are involved in, and this familial structure that you're talking about right now, has, like I said, don't have nothing to do back in the day. Has everything to do with what's going on right now today, and the fact that these behaviors and these decisions are widely accepted, completely okay, and there's nothing to stop people from continuing to do it.
Well, I mean, I think that I disagree with part of what you're saying. You say that the things that happened in the past don't have no bearing on what's happening today. Joy, if you couldn't buy a house in the 1950s, then that
I'm not
means
saying
that
it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm telling you is let's address what's happening right now today.
Well, what I'm telling you is what's happening today is the residual effect of everything that's happened leading up to now. We're talking about the last 70 years. If we're really being honest, the last 100 years. Here in Durham, there was a boom that was happening in the 1920s, right? Where we had Black Wall Street, where people were pulling themselves up 60 years after being freed from slavery. Here in Durham exists as a result of the slaves that came from the Stagville plantation, right? So if we understand that those people were putting themselves in position, they were working the tobacco houses in downtown Durham, and they were putting themselves in position. They had houses. There was classism, but they had houses. They were able to take care of themselves. North Carolina Mutual exists as a result of that. But at the same time, we had urban renewal. We had specific efforts from the government that said, we're going to take your community and we're going to drive a highway right through your community, right? At the same time, you don't have an opportunity to be able to buy in communities. You can't. People are coming back from war and they can't take advantage of the GI Bill. You know, like, we can't sit up here and say that everything that happened in the past has no bearing on today. It's very, it's very much a part of what happened. If your grandparents could not buy a house for $8,000 in 1950, then you don't have an opportunity to be able to go to school and to be in position for you.
So if I got 8 kids right now with 8 different men, I'm gonna say it's because my grandparents couldn't buy a house. No,
I'm saying that the family structure that you have in place, the whole idea that your family is not able to put money towards your down payment once you get married is the result of them not being able to participate in stuff in the past. You know, like we can't sit up here and
we're not saying that doesn't have an effect on that.
But it's part of the reason why there's a breakdown today, you all. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
okay, but you as an individual at this point,
me as an individual,
have autonomy over everything. The decisions that you don't have any choices over the decisions that you make.
Well, first of all, I'm an immigrant, right? So as an immigrant, I sit up here and I come here with nothing, right? And I assume the fact that I came here with nothing, that I had no grandparents who were here who were able to put me in position.
Well, Sim, you know what? That changes the whole perspective of things for me. This conversation.
Why does it change things? We're talking
because
about
you don't
we're
understand.
Talking about the social structure. We're talking about the social structure.
I hear you, but I'm not gonna say because this is gonna put me in a bad spot. But it's easy. It's easy to come here first generation or whatever and make an assessment on what's been going on here when our grandparents were here, experiencing this, and they know what it was like to not to be able to purchase, and we are the lineage. We know. We're not saying it doesn't have an effect on today how we act today, but at this point, the only resolution that we could come to is the only thing we can do is what we can do for ourselves.
That's it.
We can't change that. We
Yeah.
can't change it. We can't change it. And you could say, I could say, like, you came here as an immigrant. Your grandparents weren't here.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to
So
say.
you can't. We can't. It kind of comes across like, you can't like downplay their experiences, and we're not. We definitely aren't doing that because they're our grandparents.
Downplay whose experience? I'm not sitting up here saying anything about the grandparents. What I'm saying is,
and we're not acting like it didn't happen and like it doesn't have effect on
I'm
today.
saying your
we're saying the only way that we could come to a resolution is by doing something ourselves right now.
Are people okay? And Allen, are you saying that people are doing everything that they can to try to find a middle ground today?
Are you?
Me? Yeah, I only deal with people who are reasonable. Personally, I don't deal with people who are superficial, who care about labels, brands.
You think that's all it is?
Well, I'm talking about the socialization. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I've been talking about the socialization the whole time. I'm not blaming anyone for the circumstances. What I'm saying is it's been a collaborative effort, independent of you, your family. I'm talking about systemically. 100 years ago today, we had Tulsa, Greenwood, the Greenwood community in Tulsa. We had Wilmington, North Carolina. We had Durham. What I'm saying is this is happening as a result of their specific intent. And
yes, we agree with it. We agree with that. But what can we do right now?
Deal with people who are reasonable, right? So if we deal with people who are reasonable, who are operating from a reasonable standpoint, right? Like even if we were to say, right, part of the reason why I focus so much attention on the FIRE community is because it focuses on like frugal living. It goes completely against what the programming says that we should be doing out here. Not putting yourself in position. Every single year, people are missing out on opportunities to sit up here and invest. I've sat up here and dated all sorts of professionals. And I sit up here and have a conversation. And I'll say, hold up. So you mean to tell me that you would much rather just go out there and travel and spend your money in other countries and other places than to prioritize your future? I can live on nothing. And I'm okay with that. What I'm saying is it's the socialization. It's the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's all this stuff that's inundating our people and telling them that they need to be living a lifestyle beyond what they had.
Okay, so what should
it's
they do?
Aspirational. Okay.
What should they do?
So what I'm saying is what we're experiencing today is the result of the socialization. When I talk about the collaborative effort, it has everything to do with the government and what they said should be happening. And you can only deal with people who are being reasonable. Me, I'm really just a bystander. And I'm saying that as someone who's not originally from here, before you sit up here and you get off a plane and you say that what the Black Americans are not doing, you need to sit up here and understand the full story. Understand what happened from 1865 all the way up until 1920. Understand what's happened from 1920 up until 2020. Before you sit up here and say what someone is not doing, what they're lazy, all that stuff. Understand all of that before you even utter a single word. What I'm saying is I understand the accrued disadvantage that happened here.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the socialization puts us in a position where we are overlooking opportunities, potentially, right? I can't sit up here and speak for anyone else. I've had plenty of people who've overlooked me and said, hey, listen, you're not at the level that I want my man to be at. And then I'll be looking at them and they'll be sitting up there with a cat and a dog and a plant to come home to.
That's what we say about the men. Or they be having children all over the planet. What's the difference?
At the end of the day, what I'm saying is I see people from other communities here in the rich area, at the Walmart over here by the rich area, sleeping and living in their car. Over here, multi-million-dollar houses. They're sleeping and living out of their car. I'm talking about women that I'm dating. If I see she's not prioritizing her future, I have nothing to do with her. Nothing. Because she's not going
to be trying to save her.
Say it again.
You should be trying to save her.
Nah, I'm not saving nobody. Listen, I'm not
saving nobody.
I'm not saving nobody. Listen, they gotta prioritize.
You like see.
If I could chime in, because I was listening to you, Sim, and I think you do have a good grasp of African American like history and everything that's kind of, I guess, led to this point. And I agree with you on a lot of things when it comes to all of the Black Wall Streets. It was just more than one that people didn't know, and the destruction of them, and who destroyed them, and just everything, just the myriad of things that happened and brought us to this point. And I think they do a lot of stuff is very much so connected. Some of the things that we do today is very much so connected to something that happened yesterday. We talk about Black wealth, period. You're exactly right. If you couldn't buy a home back then, you couldn't pass that home down. And as you know, property price what am I saying?
Values.
The values, thank you. Property values increase or whatever. You're not able to pass that down from generation to generation like a lot of people have. So I totally agree with you. But what I think, and I think you guys are really, saying the same thing. I think Sim is saying, I feel like I think you guys are saying we have to change what's happening today, right? I think Sim is saying, I think the ladies here too are saying, yes, we got to have a good grasp and an understanding of how we got here, right? Because we don't want to repeat the same mistakes. But what's the solution, right? And Sim, I'm here for you. I'm not all about the fire movement for myself, but I understand what you're saying, right? You want Black people to have wealth, and I do as well. But I will say this, we can't have a mindset, and that's with all of us. Like, we have to have an individual responsibility, but we also have to have a mindset of like, we like reach out and like kind of help those, around us, maybe our families and things like that. Because I think we're a lot individualistic today, right? If as long as I'm good, I don't really care about anything else. And in some ways that's good, right? Because you mind your own business sometimes, right? As you should. And in some ways that's bad, because then you're always in somebody else's business, and you want to come up here on platforms like this and tell somebody else what they should and shouldn't be doing, and why they shouldn't be messing with this one, or they shouldn't be a single parent. You just start to get messy, and it just starts to be like very like hatred towards something. So I get it. I think we all kind of want a collective, like, us to do better, right? I think that's really what it is, right? And we all have our ways to take that 5-mile hike up to the mountaintop. And when we get there, I hope there's some trail mix and a foot rub at the top, right? But we can have these differences. We don't have to like both sides. I just think we need to stop playing the blame game a lot within ourselves, right? And if it is outside force that is keeping us down, then we need to come together collectively and go against this outside force. But if I'm constantly telling you how you ain't this and you ain't worth this and you ain't worth that, and this man ain't no good, and this woman ain't that, because whatever, ain't no way, it's no way we'll be able to grow as a people. And I don't want to, it's just no way. And I don't know. I mean, we can be individualistic. We can just worry about ourselves and not worry about anybody else. But then you see
that one don't belong to me.
You see what's gonna happen. But I mean, it's got to be a way for everybody. Everybody's not the same. Everybody's not going to think the same way, right? Some people think it's the nuclear family, right? Some people think that is the number one reason why our community is just out of whatever. Compared to who? Right? Compared to what? Some people think it's like, allow people to be who they are, live free, love who they love, and or whatever. And there's some people in the middle of that. And there's no one answer, but you find like-minded people. You don't try to hate and cause divides and division. And then we try to get together. I mean, listen, I don't know where the next Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, I don't know.
Sim Sia.
I don't know, Al Sharpton and all of that. I don't know what is all. I mean, because of course, I wasn't alive back then, right? But my mother would say, like, if he was given some type of or whatever, if he was, everybody all watched this and they all got something from it, at least a vast majority of it. I don't know who could be concerned to right now for some type of leadership, and I'm not saying that in a way like men don't lead, or what I'm talking about as a collective leadership. It ain't you can't trust the pastors in the church, right? That's what we say, right? You can't trust, because they either stealing from you or they doing something inappropriate or they hypocrite. Y'all know that. Creflo and I'm just saying
all the
as a whole, I'm not.
And that's the thing. No, real quick. I'm glad you said that. Black people don't go to church the way that they used to go. So a lot of these things, these issues weren't issues when the Black family.
Well, that's why they say they don't go to church, because they don't trust the people within the church. The church is corrupt, right? They stealing money from people. They doing inappropriate things from people. It's too hush stuff goes on, and nobody wants to like bring it to light, right? But I mean, I agree with you. That's why we ain't got good music today, because people don't sing in the church choir anymore. But whatever, I'm gonna just leave that alone. But and so because it's we got a lot of information, and people are saying like, maybe I'm not, I don't feel like I'm a Christian, right? Maybe I want to be, I don't know, Buddhist or something like that, or atheist or whatever have you. It's so many different choices. One thing I know is shaming someone. I don't necessarily think shaming is the answer.
I do.
It's people being shamed. Black women get shamed, and some Black men. I mean, every day on the internet, getting shamed, shame.
Yes.
And it ain't moved the needle.
But that's the thing. It doesn't happen in a way that it used to happen. It's to the point where it's become a social norm, or the social norm has stayed in place. It was back in the day. You wasn't no teenage mom. Who baby? When did you have a baby? You didn't. You grew up. That baby was your sister, your brother.
I think that's a result. Back in the day, they were shamed, right? But yet and still it happened, right? And now we're here. So the shaming,
but because it happened, but it wasn't so widely accepted that the next person was like, "Oh, me too, me too, me too." So as it's become more and more and more acceptable, and nobody's like saying there's something wrong with it, or people are even maybe afraid to say something's wrong with it. Like, that's the thing with this cancel culture, right? It is the weirdest thing to me. Like, everything goes, anything goes, because the person that is in opposition of what you may think is gonna raise their hand and be like, "No, you shouldn't feel like that," and then they're gonna make up some word that ain't nobody ever heard of. What's this word? Massage noir. I never heard it. That's a real word.
But listen, Kiki Wyatt. But would Kiki Wyatt be Would Kiki Wyatt be shamed back in the day?
No. She's married.
No.
Would she be shamed?
What'd you say?
Would Kiki Wyatt be shamed for all these kids?
She was married. No.
Would Nick Cannon be shamed back in the day?
No.
But then that's when you start talking about that double standard, where back in the day it was more acceptable for boys to be boys. Now they trying to say the boys are girls, or girls are boys, or what? We don't.
We're talking about these people and all these kids.
Anything goes.
I just think that it's more in the open now, as far as like people are not. They're saying that I'm not going to deal with what my mom dealt with. I'm not going to deal with what my grandmother dealt with. But it's not to say that it didn't happen, but they're just saying that I'm not going to do that. And then also, the moms and the grandmas were also getting into in their granddaughters and their daughters' ears and said, "Look, baby, don't ever count on the man. Like, listen, do whatever you do, you need to make sure that you don't rely on the man. So you don't find yourself in the same situation that I'm in." And I'm not saying that the old.
I want to know what the grandfathers and the dads telling the sons.
Shit, he's probably not even in the house.
Girl, it's absentee fault.
I mean, he was probably busy working, doing whatever.
Getting children somewhere else.
I'm not saying that.
They need to stay in the household.
the old way was
Stay in the household.
Well,
Don't be like we ain't letting them in. This and that. Stay in the house.
And Allen,
keep yourself in your household.
And Allen, you said earlier that you don't believe that women are leaving the house, leaving marriages at the rate that they are. That the 70
That's not what I
80%.
said. That's not what I said.
You said that the stats. You don't believe the stats. You said they're bogus.
That's not what I said.
And Allen.
Tim, that's not what she said.
That's not what I said. I know what I said about
I'm gonna tell you exactly what she said.
Was it the last show?
I'm gonna tell you what she said. She was saying women weren't leaving their households because of cheating and cheating alone. That's what she was saying. And that's what she was saying. She's saying it's a myriad of things, and then cheating.
Exactly how I feel about that every time, the same way, every single time.
Look, Tim, I'm trying to be on your side.
Listen. I gotta make up for all the smoke that y'all had when I was off. I'm listening to you guys.
That's why
y'all talking about my
you
pecans,
still are trying to take these women
my trail
and get
mix.
these lace fronts lifted up. You know how expensive a lace front is. Want to take them hiking, and y'all always testing us every single stream. Some man coming up here, getting in this corner between all three of us, trying to ask us a million questions, trying to test us. Would you eat at McDonald's? Yes. Do you want a man to buy your house? Yes. What's your favorite? What's your best meal that you're famous for that you can cook?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Quick fire. Here you go tonight. What you say? What was your question? I don't even remember.
What physical activity do you
What physical activity can you do? Y'all always testing us.
If you don't hike,
passing.
We putting y'all through the paces. Okay, listen.
That's fine.
We're putting y'all through y'all paces. Okay, let's be clear.
We love it.
Yes,
though. We
keep testing us.
But see, that's how we appreciate you coming on and see, this is what we were talking about earlier about being in mastermind and people can have different standpoints, and we just take them for who they are. Sim, look, y'all. First of all, y'all got my good sis up there. You got her a little bit.
She was worked up.
You got her up.
Every night, one of us got to get triggered.
Then you got my good sis. Then you got my good sis down this. Hold up, which way I want to point? That way.
She got the hush mouth.
You got her in her bag about personal accountability and doing what we can do today. You understand what I'm saying? Sim, you were doing a lot today, but we appreciate
the men victimized.
This lesson was brought to you by Black History Month.
Right.
Another Black History moment.
We all got our black on.
Another Black History moment.
I'm trying to play. I'm trying to be on the fence. I'm like, I feel them, but I feel them too. But I see what he's saying here.
It's a mess, though. I mean, it really is, and I'm not specifically blaming anyone because, like, there's a book that I read that was mind blowing, and it's called The Whiteness of Wealth. It's by a lady by the name of Barbara Brown, right? She's a tax attorney who's a professor there in Emory, and she talks about all the systemic ways that Black people have missed out on the opportunity for them to build wealth. Like the married filing joint is there as a result of elite people attempting to take advantage of the tax system. So there's just so many things. I understand, like, although, and Allen, I'm not originally from here, I very much empathize with all the systemic things that happen. And I don't blame no one for the situation that they're in today, because it's the residual effect of everything that's happened leading up to now. Like the one thing that I heard, and I'll go ahead and drop off after this, that really blew my mind was the whole idea of grandmas being able to circumvent the maximum amount that you could contribute as a gift for your grandchildren by paying your grandchild's tuition directly to the institution, right? So it could be more than $15,000 as opposed to the $15,000 maximum gift contribution that you can make on an annual basis. When she said that the grandparents were able to circumvent the tax system by being able to pay their grandchild's college tuition. Like, that just speaks about the privileged situation that people are in that we know nothing about, that I know nothing about. A lot of the people that I know nothing about. And we can't sit up here and say that I expect you today to be in the same situation as everyone who's had an opportunity to participate in everything leading up to now. Even Dorothy Brown spoke about how her parents had to have a man from a different community buy the house, and then they were making payments to him in order for them to be able to participate in home ownership. But prior to that man coming to save them and looking at that as an opportunity for him to help them out, there's nothing there. So we can't sit up here and say that you should be at this level, you're not there. We just have to figure out a way to make it work. And I'm not saying my way is the way. I'm saying that I can personally only deal with someone who understands the plight that we have before us, and they understand that it can only be through our efforts that we can get to the place that we need to. So whatever it is we need to do, we got to figure it out, because we're going to take care of our parents, and it's going to cost us money, and it's going to be an inverted triangle for our families. And we need to figure out a way to make it work, as opposed to giving it to the Gucci's, the Chanel's, the Balenciagas, whoever it is, and their trust funds.
Glad you didn't say Louis Vuitton. Thank God.
Listen. Oh my
Girl,
God.
he said Louis when you were gone.
I'm just saying that
people in the comments,
all those trust funds that benefit other people do nothing for us in return. And we have to figure out a way to change our mindset. And I'm not saying that it should be incumbent upon people originally from here to live a humble life. I'm okay with that. I've experienced homelessness multiple times, and I'm not above it. But what I'm saying is, I know where I've come from, and I know what I need to do, but I'm not saying anybody else needs to do it.
All right, so mic drop.
I love it. But yeah,
this was a great conversation.
That was good.
And he was out here like trying to drop knowledge on us.
So listen, I got to get y'all worked up, so I can get you a little bit vulnerable, so I could get in there and whisper nothing's in your ear,
You know what?
I'm here
you know what? Scratch everything he said tonight. That's the problem,
and
right
we
there.
love you for it. We thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And that's how we do over here on this channel.
Y'all always be wrapping us up. Didn't he wrap us up last
I'm
time?
gonna drop him on down.
Did he wrap us up last time when he gave us the midnight love edition of Sim?
Listen, hold up. Listen, I heard you talk about Mama Bear Moments as if she was like the MVP. I was the MVP.
You were.
Listen, y'all need to go back to that.
She had a great moment.
Y'all need to go back to that video, because I saw y'all clutching your pearls. You're like, oh my God.
We first of all, we follow the numbers and the statistics, and Mama Bear hit it off. But I'll go back and check again. But you were really had a little word for us on the.
Listen. Y'all go back to your facial expressions. It's all good. I love it.
You had joy over there, like
Ty. Listen,
I'm just messing.
Don't show that video to anybody else. That's all I'm saying.
It's on YouTube,
right?
Don't be sharing that video. Don't be telling them.
I had to clip that one.
You didn't care up anyway.
Ladies, you want a high value man?
Ty, don't do it.
You want to hear what he talk about at night?
Ty, don't do it. I'm telling you.
We gotta find a good title and thumbnail for it.
Tell it. Listen, y'all go back to that video. What was it from last Saturday?
The card game.
The card game. Yeah.
I forgot what it's called. Listen, y'all go back to that video, but I hope you don't clip it up, because I don't want y'all to be out here like that.
You don't want us, or you don't want you.
Listen,
I increase your funnel.
I wasn't on camera, so I don't know what y'all talking about.
I think they can match your voice up with this video.
But I appreciate y'all. It was fun.
Thanks, Sam. We appreciate you.
Later.
I love it.
Woo, child.
Honey, I love a man that's intellectual. Okay. What's the word? In Allen, what they call that when you're attracted to have somebody think?
Sapient.
I don't know.
It's a word. It's something.
I can't even think.
It is
something like that.
That's me. Oh my God, I love a man.
Right, and he gave you a whole history lesson. He was telling you from 1865 to the 1920s. He told you about.
I always get a history lesson.
Okay, he told you about Durham. He told you about Wilmington. Last time when we was over on his channel, he told you about all the HBCUs in North Carolina.
He did.
He sure did.
I might have to give me some.
Sexual. Thank you, my sexy is strong. Yeah. That's what it is, girl. Sexual. I knew I was something right.
I promise that right there.
That's a good man right there. He passionate about it too.
But you know what? When we start talking about men and women and who leads and whatever, like if someone is able to have good conversation, like and be able to back it up in the way that he did and demonstrate that they're, intellectual and well read, I'm going to trust that you can lead me. Like there's certain things that, okay, like all money, all that other extra, it go out the window. Like, okay, hold on now. Like, there's a certain type of man, like certain things is gonna come along with those particular traits. Like,
he definitely well read, definitely knows what he was talking about. Even if you don't agree with his points, he was saying, like, I didn't agree with the whole women choosing welfare over men, right? But y'all didn't see it, but the man put a link to the Moynihan report or whatever.
Yeah,
now I've been through. I didn't want to bring that one up because I knew it was going with that. But I read that, just the fact a lot of people use it though, but he did it in the I'll tell you what he didn't do. He didn't be like, well, y'all sound like some bitter,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Women that don't get no man and y'all out here. That's what he didn't have to do that to get his point across. I know I sat here and listened to the man.
And that's the thing. That's what we're saying about like the intentional millionaire. Like sometimes some men just have it. They just have it. You're able to convey points without name calling, without being out. It give me real vitriol. Like when men be real, it give me like,
Tim and Sim. That's
like you got your neck rolling or something. Like relax.
Right.
No, so I appreciate Sim, and I hope he was like, hold up. He was like, no, 1865. No, but I appreciate it because that's why you gonna come back. Even common sense when he get up here and try to kick a little common sense.
Trying to cash me out.
Did it?
Oh.
I love it.
Well, I think we're winding down. It is now 12:30. We've been on here for 3 hours, y'all. This has been very entertaining. This has been something that I think we've all learned something from. Like I said, we got that good old history lesson from the professor. And
okay, I don't know how we went from Nick Cannon and Kiki White, all their kids, to the.
I feel like that was me. I always be like,
but I love that.
No. It was good combo.
I love that. Like we're women, we're dynamic. We're not just we don't have just one way of thinking. Like we're able to converse about diverse issues and have multiple viewpoints and be able to listen to other people's viewpoints. Like it's an exchange of ideas because ultimately it will make everybody better. Like NAllen even said it earlier. She was like, dang, I'm learning a lot about myself. Like that's what we want. Like your friendships and the relationships and the people that you surround yourself with, I will hope that that's what happens when you're in your personal relationships at home. Like everybody should contribute to everybody else's learning to help you look at things differently than you did before. But sometimes people are like, no, my way is right. Okay, you win. It's whatever you say. Because let me tell you what I ain't gonna do is go back and forth.
Let them win.
You got it.
That's all you. I'm gonna fall back.
It's whatever you say. I'm gonna tell you, that's one thing you're gonna get out of me. You won't never see me going back and forth, breaking a sweat. But y'all, this is it. This is a good episode. As always, what we ask that you do, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. And for those of you that may be watching after this and you're watching the recorded version, let's keep the conversation going. Put your comments below. I think in the last episode or 2 episodes ago, we had some people going back and forth for a while. It was they were getting real snippy and spicy in the comment section.
Yes.
So, we like that. So please get our engagement up because I mean we are well on our way.
Yes,
and
indeed.
What'd you say? We need 3 more hours? No, you don't.
It's late.
Look,
I come on here every day and I tell y'all, let's keep it to an hour. I don't got all day. I ain't got all night with y'all. And what happened?
Oh, just come back.
I text y'all 45 minutes ago. I gotta hang it up at midnight.
You did, but you started talking though. That was you.
I did. I'm sorry.
That was you this time.
Well, y'all, please keep the conversation going in the comments. We will meet you in the comments. We'll be liking, responding, and all that jazz. And we'll be back to talk to you about something different on Wednesday. So, guys, as we're building this channel, please tell a friend to tell a friend. And hopefully, we'll double the amount of people that we had in the chat next time. See y'all on Wednesday.
Yep.
And remember, this episode, this Black History Moment was brought to you by Sim.
Cynthia.
Y'all
He is
have
the
a great
sponsor of
night.
today's channel.
And go to
Okay,
church tomorrow.
Go to
Bye.
Praise him.